Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Covenant Live. We hope you're coming back at least, or we actually hope
welcome
it's your
for the first time. Yeah, I was going to say, there's nothing against new people around here.
We're just happy you're here. Here's two things we're going to be doing today. One, we're going to talk about speculation, because Jonathan got us tuned into a couple of videos about the comic book industry that we shared around the office, and that led us to have a lot of conversations and thoughts about the idea of speculation, speculators, and of course, our particular industry being a collectible-focused market most of the time, has a lot to say about speculation. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking or playing Warlord. This is battle boxes, some old cards. We're going to be exploring some older formats, just seeing what's out there.
This is not old cards. This is my collection. This is all Warlord cards that I own. My precious.
They're not new cards.
New to me.
Yeah, new to you cards. Yes. Great. We're keeping on the Warlord Kickstarter. They crossed 400,000. I love this Kickstarter because it seems like it's actually just people who genuinely want to play the game, and is slowly growing organically over time as people learn more. The conversations in our Discord have been incredibly awesome and positive, and around kind of like, I'm excited about it. How much should I buy? Why? How much do I need? Those kinds of things. So really cool, and we will play some more Warlord today, and I'm sure it will come up in the speculation conversation as well. I also want to catch up with everybody out there, because like it's a live stream, and I feel like we don't do that enough, so we'll just kind of have a chat section as well where we can talk to some folks. I know there's been some things in the Discord and people have said, I know Alex, good news I think for Alex out there, your child back from the hospital. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I'm so thrilled that it seems like everything is okay. And there was another in our Discord who I won't name unless you want me to, but had a similar kind of, my child went to the hospital and I was freaking out, but everything's okay now. So
we get so locked in. I didn't know that was even going on.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that for you, Alex.
Spend more time with the Discord.
Well, you know, I'm out there living life in person with people.
You got me.
I love hearing this. Dana Brown saying, "Hello, everyone. First time seeing this live.
Hey,
welcome.
Daniel.
A new person in the flesh.
And I'm sorry you lost your job, and you can watch at 1 o'clock.
J.K. Lawlin saying, "I love that mentality, Zach. What mentality are you referring to?
New to me.
Oh, new to me.
Cards,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I was like, what did I even say that he's backing? What do you got there? Did you win an award?
Check this out.
Babies.
Had a baby shower this past weekend, and had a friend of mine, Harry, who is sometimes in the live stream chat.
He was in all those Lord of the Rings TCG live streams.
Huge Lord of the Rings TCG fan. He watched our live streams and actually got back into the Lord of the Rings TCG because of that, because he realized he loved it so much. And that rekindled his desire to get back in, and has had some local play groups here in Tulsa.
I need to get in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has a business that is about engraving trophies.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
We talked about that a lot.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
And he made this for me, baby's first booster pack.
Hilarious.
And it happens to have Lord of the Rings Fellowship in there.
The first set of that game.
But it does have a little hidden panel where I can trade that out for any pack that I want. So I thought maybe it's a very important decision. What's the first booster pack?
It's like, you can't open this till you're 18, whatever it is.
Yeah, seal it up. I don't know. So this is cool. So
should...
Harry, if you're out there, thank you so much for this. And this is just super fun.
I don't often mention this because I want to surprise people with it later. And it's probably not the appropriate use of it, but we do have 2 of our Sorcery early print packs left and sealed. Remember that? We were like, let's not open them all. Let's keep these 2 packs. We don't know what we're going to use for them.
Few years of those babies.
But it's like,
speaking of speculation,
crack the glass when you're 18. This will pay for your college, kid. Okay, let's. You want to get into that topic real quick?
Sure, dude. Let's get into it.
So
I'm going to pull up YouTube so I can follow along with the comments here.
Yeah, the topic du jour is speculation, speculators, financiers. I don't know the right way to frame it, but
look at this, Jonathan. Speculation, a positive or a poison.
Alliteration.
Wow.
A lot of P's.
That's the oldest form of rhyme.
Speculation.
The oldest form of poetry.
You have a thesis? Or is this a loose rambling?
Zach, you know what? I do have a thesis. I have a fresh from the town thesis.
What was the last hill you died on stream?
It involves me standing on that beautiful bulk box there.
Oh, get on your bulk box.
Yeah.
We need little steps up onto the bulk box. And different camera, What's the thesis?
I think my thesis is that speculation is always bad.
Tasty. Okay, so what is speculation?
Any benefit to speculation? Speculation, as I'm defining it for this conversation at least, and you might have a different take on it, is
Surely not. Two people can't have a different opinion.
speculation is buying something now because you think it will be worth more later, and you have the intention to sell it when it is worth more later to make a profit.
And is your thesis universal or specifically related to collectible card games?
Universal. Yeah. I think short-term capital gains, bad. Fast trading of stocks,
But like
bad.
if I buy a building because it has value and I think in 20 years it'll be worth more, is that bad?
Yes.
Why is that bad?
Because you should use that building to create value for people.
Got you. So if I create value in the meantime,
Yeah.
and then it is also still worth something later,
Sure.
pure speculation is bad, is what you're
If
saying.
you need a building to do the thing that you want to do to contribute positively to society, buy the building.
Yeah,
If
so
you're going to buy it, leave it empty, and sell it in 20 years as a part of your portfolio, bad.
so hypothetically, let's start real macro.
Bring it
here.
on. Give me the
philosophical.
give me the
approach.
Socratic method, my boy.
I mean, we've been internally having some different kinds of discussions recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've been a part of them. Just asking certain questions. This is not normal for me to be thinking like this, but here I am.
Can I interject for 1 second? One of my favorite things is when Steven does the philosophical Hulk Hogan, like the Hulk Hogan, right? Before a philosophy discussion.
The Kant,
Yeah.
the Kant elbow drop coming up. He's coming with reason from the turnbuckle.
So tell me this. Do you think that it's bad to buy gold?
If you're just going to sit on it,
What else do you do with gold?
well, I mean, you can make a watch out of it.
Yeah, but
You
like
can
if
use it
I
to make
just
something of
let's
value.
say I bought 10 grand in gold
Mm-hmm.
bars, whatever that. I mean, that's probably like a little piece of gold.
Is your intention to sell the gold at a higher price later? Is your intention to have an insurance policy against global collapse?
I mean,
Because insurance is fine in my mind.
to me, I would be buying the gold so that I have a physical asset that instead of just having cash in a bank account, I have it in this other form that, for what I think it'll be worth more later than it is, just sitting on cash basically.
But usually that's not the case with gold.
It's not usually worth more.
It's not worth more. It is a
I've
store
never bought
of
gold,
value
side
in this. Yeah, Ron Paul 2012, baby. It's a store of value that really is not meant to appreciate, but it is meant to fight against a lot of the inflationary pressure and kind of the ups and downs of the stock market, et cetera. It's seen as if I put $500 in now, I can take that to Argentina and get $500 later. 500 whatever new dollars are, right? So if inflation has made $500 now worth $400, that's now worth $400. So
Gotcha. So let's zoom in a little bit.
okay.
How does this play out in tabletop?
Yeah, great question. Well, Kickstarter actually makes it very, very easy to engage in speculation. How it normally plays out, and these are the two videos that we watched, Todd McFarlane and the comic books industry around Spider-Man #1 that he did.
What a baller.
Yeah,
also,
Todd McFarlane's awesome.
like the number of things he did to transform that industry, but like is not the primary beneficiary of the change was astounding. Like watching that video was really
It's
crazy.
really
to me.
cool.
And
He
I
did a
only
great
knew
job,
him.
too.
I only knew him from Spawn.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I ever knew Todd McFarlane.
Like totally reinvent Spider-Man and
I
like
was oblivious to that.
yeah. And like just the different movements that were started because of the stuff he was doing. It's really bizarre.
And that's the crazy thing. This is one of the things I like. As a quick side note, is that this was the environment that Steve and I were brought up in. We were going to Dallas Fantasy Fair. We were collecting comics. I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, but Spawn was cool, right? Image was new, and like I had people with an image that I liked.
To me, Spawn was off limits.
Yeah, I bet. It's got angels in it though.
I didn't know that's where Angela came from the Marvel universe. It's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it nuts?
Anyways.
But yeah, so like this is all the stuff that was going on in the background, the debate that was going on in the comic books industry, and even like talking about ElfQuest and stuff, and the friendly local comic store. It's like the same kind of stuff where we're dealing with a friendly local game store now. It's getting a little bit of cart ahead of the horse, but I just think it's so cool, and to see what a very similar speculation run did to the comic books industry 30 years ago, and to see it. A lot of really intense parallels between what's going on in the card game market. That's kind of
Red yellow flag at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kickstarter happens.
Well, no, just speculation in general, right? With tabletop, I guess maybe is the best. So again, it comes back to this definition. I'm buying something now with the intention to not use it and then to sell it at a higher price later, because I think that there's going to be more people or people willing to pay more for something. So essentially the value that I'm creating is almost non-existent. I think you could make a sliver of an argument for it, which I'm not going to try to do right now. But that you're simply saying, I happen to have the timing and I happen to know of something before other people know about it. And the reward for me happening to be in the right place at the right time is I will make money on something that will later be popular, right? And what that does is if you have a product that you're putting out and a vision for how you want to use that product, how you want that product to be used, rather, what that product's value is, and then you have a ton of people that start engaging with it, not for that reason, not to use it the way that you are pouring your resources in to build it, then what we saw like in the videos that Jonathan shared on comic books is you start doing things differently. You start saying, oh, well, if people are going to put all this money to something just to speculate on it, I'm going to pull the strings in their direction. I'm going to release all these alt art covers. I'm going to release serialized cards. I'm going to release... And as publishers move into those realms, actually using the product becomes second, third, fourth. And then if nobody's actually using the product, all of this no longer matters. And then the whole thing tumbles, right? So this is the bubble gets created and popped. So that is a deadly cycle if you care about the things that you're actually wanting to play, right? If you actually are like, I want to do this thing, but all of the attention is going to the speculation market and trying to push people to spend more money speculating harder. And then the result of that is that I don't get to play the game in a year and a half because it all goes belly up. I mean, we have some examples of that recently. Then that's devastating. Like that's not great. It's not sustainable. The publisher loses, the players lose, the speculators lose. But it happens over and over and over again. Well, some games can pull out of that tailspin, but many can't.
In the comic book example from that video we're watching, we may link to that in the description.
I'll throw a link in.
What is it, Matt with a bunch of T's?
Matt with a bunch of T's. He does great work. I'll throw it in the chat.
And in the early 90s, they started doing, like with that Spider-Man one, alt covers, limited edition, etc. It reminded me a lot of like Magic doing the 8 different versions of the same card.
And importantly, on the Spider one, they would put them out in bags that you couldn't open or it would decrease its value, which I think is just insane.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? I mean, it's not weird, but...
Well, they're just playing into... There are people buying this because they think the #1 edition of this new Spider-Man, or #1 issue, will be valuable someday. So let's give them things to buy. And from the video, at least, they said it was still the most sold comic book of all time. And now that was the first time they did that. And in the video, they're going through and talking about the fact that in the short term, it worked. It pumped the numbers. But then eventually the people buying all these #1s, the new Hulk series, the new this series, it's like, wait a second. There's 5 million of these. And there's literally 5, let's say 2 million of this one particular issue. But then also there's so many different #1s happening that there's no way, like this is never going to be worth more actually. Right. So then they start selling and the value goes down because now tens of thousands of people are selling comics that are, attached to it and stuff. So versus I think a more organic collectability. And this is, you mentioned the Warlord Kickstarter and the way they're functioning, the way it's happening. And like, it's been really cool to see them engage. I talked about that last week, engaging on the Discord, but then slowly iterating on their Kickstarter to make it more clear what's going on and how to get like what levels, because it was missing that image that we found last week and all that. Yeah. Versus a good comparable for me there was Sorcery, which is they started with the alpha edition of the game is going to be Kickstarter only inherently. But also during this time frame, anyone can back for any amount of boxes they want, and we're going to print however many. Yeah. So that was pretty clever. Instead of putting out a game and saying, hey, this is really limited, because lack of supply does not create demand.
Right. Say it from the rooftops, please.
Yeah. Something just being rare does not make it in high demand or valuable. Almost every time, as an example, like my favorite OG kit example was the first edition Charizard. It's like, it is rare. But it's also got such demand for one reason or another, right? I mean, it was the OG hard to get card. It's freaking Charizard. Everyone loves it, etc. Not everyone, but enough people, enough of the thing. And then Pokemon went on to get popular enough that You know, it was a couple $100 back when I was a kid, which seemed unfathomable.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah, it's like, no way.
crazy.
But man, dude, I wanted that so... Every time it shows up in a magazine, you're just like, oh my gosh, I want this guy. But it just being rare wouldn't have done that.
Right.
Like,
right.
if it had been insert the worst art in that set about a Pokemon I don't care about, and they only printed 5 of them...
I mean, I could make a 1-of-1 card right now, and it would have 0 value.
I don't know. It might have some
It
value.
might have maybe like I don't know. But yes, rarity does not create demand. But even with all of this, like all of this kind of like market appreciation of a hobby, it's just like,
Well,
let's talk more directly about a deeper kind of human thing here.
Okay.
Which is somebody, a person, be it Todd McFarlane, Andrew Navarro, Eric Olofsson, Simon Swan.
You start
Woodrow.
naming names, just start saying them all, dog.
Josh King. Colby
Dana Brown's saying to give you $1 for the 1-of-1 card. I told you it's got value.
Someone else give me 2. We're
But
getting somewhere.
it's not, the value is not coming from the fact that you only make 1. If anything, there's value because you made it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm a talking head for 17 years on the internet, and that has some amount of value. But this reality, these people have a vision for, there's 2 ways you can go into business. One, my vision is how can I thread a needle through something that I see as an opportunity to make as much money as I can and run a successful business. The second one is in the creative and artistic side of this, which is I want to create something that people will use, enjoy, will create meaning in their lives, will make their lives better, will give them an experience that's notable, etc. And the people that I'll speak for all of us, but that we enjoy working with are the people who have that kind of vision for their game. They want people to play, enjoy, experience, etc. They want to contribute something artistic and creative from their soul of their being out to other people. And this is all of art. This is all of music. This is not all of music, not all of art, but this is the soul of art and music.
I think that's, for us at least, very critical.
Absolutely
There's
critical.
the difference between recognizing a market opportunity and having a clever way to make money.
That's it.
And having an artistic vision that you want to bring into the world. And to bring that into the world and to sustainably keep it into the world, you need to make money. But whether or not money is an outcome of what you're doing or the goal of what you're doing is a very different perspective.
Definitely changes how you do things. So like if money starts to become the overwhelming goal, if you're a comic book publisher, you're thinking about alt covers and sealed collectible issues. If giving people an experience that is telling them a story in a beautiful graphic medium that you have wanted to express for all of your life, if that is the goal of the publisher, then they do different things.
Yeah.
They release different kinds of products.
The Spider-Man comic book, right? If the goal had been, we're going to tell the best Spider-Man story ever, and it's going to be a #1 issue, and in 100 years, there will only be so many pristine left, like, that is way different than inherently there's only 2,000 copies of this edition of the comic.
Right, like you start there. It's like we're going to artificially limit this out of the gate in pursuit of this medium.
In a world where no one else is doing that, in the comic book world, as an example, where it's just, we made X-Men issue 240 and we made X-Men issue 241. If that's the only thing that is that way, you can see where that would be very successful. Even like with Magic, like the first thing they did that was like, there's like very rare serialized alt art versions.
The 1-of-1 ring or anything like that.
But eventually, if enough games are doing enough of this kind of practice, you're at some point, it's going to be so varied that, like, Pokemon is at this point. I'm out of my depth here, but follow me. So I got a little bit into Pokemon with my niece back right before the pandemic, like the year or two before the pandemic. And I had played when it first came out for like 2 or 3 years. Still had all my old stuff. She started getting into it. She wanted to see all the old stuff. And then it was like, let's go to a draft and like we can do this thing. But like there's so many alternate, crazy looking eyes. I'm just getting old. But it's just like, what
shiny
is
and
even...
wild
And it's like,
Versatex,
there's the full art shiny version.
humbug.
There's the Rainbow Secret edition. And it's like, truth be told, and again, this is a little hyperbolic, but not really. The hard to get beautiful Charizard and Pikachus are the money cards. Almost every time. Not every set has them, and the sets that don't do worse. But it's like there's so many Charizards now of different flavors. Really, the one is the one. Mm-hmm. And then other than that, it's just like, what's the fancy Charizard of today?
But there's two things. The difference between speculation and collectability, it gets conflated constantly, right? It's like they squish them together into the same term. And Sorcery has really made me appreciate the difference. And the other thing is like, I'm gonna get on the speculation versus collectability thing, but before I lose this train of thought, I think speaking with Andrew during the NFT Wonders broadcast really helped cut through, I think, a lot of the noise, as unnuanced as that position ultimately was trying to be, which was, there's this basic principle, right? We as human beings, as animals, creatures, whatever you believe in spirits, souls, eternal, whatever.
Entities.
We are on this earth and we have a limited amount of time, and where we put our attention and energy is either creating value and creating joy and creating happiness, creating love for the whole, or it's not. And when you think about speculation, and I think about, is why I have such a problem with NFTs that are inherently built almost exclusively on this idea that it will be valuable later, and that's why I'm here now, that you're putting so much, this is why Andrew said it's such a monumental waste of time. You're putting so much of your energy and self and attention into trying to find the thing that you can buy now to make a buck on. Hours, every day, every week. To stock traders, every single moment, which one's up, which one's down, how do I find it and sell it in the next 5 minutes and do an option on this because it's going to go down 30 cents and that's going to make me $20,000. That is what you're contributing to the world.
Damn. There's no value being created.
Like, why don't we all need to get, I don't want to preach that, well, I do, but I shouldn't. But like, if you're not actually creating value in the way that you're spending your time and your energy, you're not creating something meaningful and positive and worthwhile, then why are you spending all of your time and energy doing that thing? And so I see these people that are just day after day after day, which TCG box to buy next, which one's going to hold the bag on me, which one am I holding the bag on?
I mean, the practical thing though here is, as an example, Sorcery Kickstarter. Like, and if I wanted to give in to my baser instincts, I would have bought a lot more of it than I did. Because in my mind, it was like evident from the first time I saw Eric tweet an early picture of a booster box. And I was like, how did I miss this game looking for throwbacks? And then it's like, oh, this is a new game. From that moment, it's like, I think this game will be weirdly successful. Like, or can be. Because it's capturing this early vibe that I haven't in all of my years seen someone in the past 15 years do. And it looks beautiful. And then you find out about the hand painted art, and then you find out about one set a year. And it's like, this is either genius or insanity. So Kickstarter's happening, right? And you look at it and it's like, well, it was $150 a box. And it came with box toppers and different, all this stuff. And then now they're $1,200 a box. So while I agree with you that people that just bought Alpha then to hopefully sell it for $1,200 now aren't providing value, generally speaking. Had they not bought boxes back then, there would be less boxes of Alpha in existence. Now, they printed beta, so you don't even necessarily need Alpha to be around to get the same utilitarian or utility out of, I guess. But when that is what's happening, when you can take $150 and turn it into $1,200, you're almost 10 times in your money. People aren't going to be able to resist that. Like, this is going to happen. Which I only say to say,
at least,
that like there will be people who are constantly. There's enough people out there that there will always be people doing this in whatever category, like with stocks, with trading card
as long
games.
as they are allowed to do it.
Yeah, and trading card games is unregulated, so they can do some things that are interesting.
And I mean, just that example is effectively you're just buying shares of Sorcery TCG and selling once they have a better valuation. It's the same exact thing, right? You're saying you can't buy shares of the Sorcery company, but you can buy booster boxes from the first set. And they get capital, and then you get to make good on your investment later down the road.
And not philosophically, but practically, do you think those people buying Alpha during the Kickstarter had offered no value or utility or upside for Sorcery, the publisher, or the players.
They had upside for the publisher, for sure. Yeah.
Because like they get money. Mm-hmm. And then there's more of this in existence.
Well, and the key situation there is that the print run is determined by demand. Mm-hmm. So like it's one thing if there's 20,000 boxes printed and somebody buys 12,000 of them, leaving the other 8,000 for anybody who actually wants to do an exchange of value with the artistic creative force that is everyone who made Sorcery and the enjoyment of that effort. If there's only 20% of the supply that can go to that because 80% of it was grabbed up initially from the distributor to the big buyer, right? Like for instance, if I assume Rudy or somebody has a relationship with distributor or distributors, and it's like, hey, I want everything that you've got for coming down for Sorcery. If that takes out half the print run that just sits there and it's not actually getting enjoyed and used, I do think that is a negative.
But you think in the like Kickstarter version, it's less of a negative.
If it was like every single product we release, it's all just pre-orders and then we'll print that many and then we move on to the next one, I think that would be fine. Yeah.
If that was the start and end.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there's obviously issues because a publisher needs new players to start playing the game, so they need more product than. But that's where like the new players trying to play the game, which is adding not only value to the people who are actually using the product, but then is allowing more people to use the product, to have that exchange of humanity between creator and participant. That gets sucked out of the equation because all the speculation happens and takes all of these boxes out of the market, shoots the price up so that no longer can people enjoy the artistic reality of the product. Then that is an issue to me, yes. I think that is a problem.
If the collectability / speculation side is catered to too far, then it ends up undermining because if people can't have access to the experience being created, it would almost be like someone buying out all the movie tickets to then resell them to other people.
And they did. And like Ticketmaster had a huge issue with that.
Well, yeah, you see that with the stupid Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, and so you had these brands are having to find ways to incentivize the behavior they want to reward a participant with ticket because they want somebody there to actually watch the show. Like T-Swift wants you in the audience.
Yeah,
she doesn't want you making 20 grand off of a ticket you happen to buy.
Or if a sold out stadium was half empty. Like that's...
Even if she made the same amount of money, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that actually would be bad, even if she's sold out. But if half the seats aren't filled because speculators bought them to try to sell them for more and then didn't sell them because they were like way overpriced or whatever.
Yeah, because we're creating things for other people. We want you to enjoy them, to experience them, to exchange that value with each other. And the speculation bubbles can immediately disrupt that relationship between creator and audience.
Yeah.
So that to me is where it gets problematic. I also think short-term capital gains should be 100% taxed, but that's a different conversation. The other thing about the speculation,
that's aggressive.
Other thing, speculation collectability thing is actually the more you play into speculation products, 17 covers, 15 different art treatments, I think the more you hurt the collectors. Because really, and you know, you can't presume everybody's collecting for the same reason. Everybody has their own little intricacies. Some people like to buy 1,000 copies of the same card. Some people like to have a foil version of only this print run or that print run. Some people want to collect Belgian cards instead of Japanese cards, right? But I think for most of the kind of old-fashioned idea of collecting, it's I want to be able to meaningfully complete a set of something that I want to look at and enjoy until the end of time. And so we see this for Sorcery, right? We saw Jesse's video, so cool. We had that complete beta foil collection, and he's got them all bindered, and he's got half of them turned in their full art and half of them turned in their foil. And he's got that binder, and he's just going through it, sharing it on a YouTube video. Clearly so happy. He's so happy.
He has caught the ball.
He did it, right? I was able to complete my collection. And when you have things that are so impossible to complete, for many people, there's no reason to even start collecting. Because then you have to start being like, okay, I'll only collect the common non-foil cards. And then it's like, well, that's not really... And then it's like, now there's actually 5 versions of the foil or the non-foil common cards. One of them has this border, one of them has that border, one of them serialized. It's like... Can you just give me beautiful things that I care about and give me the opportunity to maybe get all of them? Collect a set, right? We play games that are entirely built around that. Rummy and gin and poker to some degree. It's like we like collecting sets of things and saying, I have put a stake in the ground. I've achieved it. Done. It's like when I try to get one of every record in a certain record label for electronic music that I follow. If there's only 5 of a given record, and I know that I can never have it, it's like I'm not even going to start. Like if it's that hard to collect, I'm not even interested, right?
Yeah, that's a curious point.
Yes.
Because the thing I was thinking about is like
Yes.
part of what makes Sorcery's collectability so good to me is that I think for most people, collecting even all the non-foils is unrealistic. And I don't know how many people it's actually, but it's like enough, and just the way the rarity system is designed and the uniques, and the fact that you don't need all of them to compete, or 4 copies of all of them to compete, or to have a reasonably good deck. But you get 5-10 booster boxes in, and like you're not there yet, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot.
But you're supposed to be trading.
Yeah.
And buying, and like there's this whole process of how do I find that next card. There's a thread in the buy sell trade group right now that is just for trading sorcery cards at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And people just talking back and forth of like, okay, I've got 2 Highland Princesses. Do you have this?
The fact that there's only one set so far, and it came out, the Kickstarter people got it like last June, July, and here we are almost a year later.
Yeah.
And that is still happening.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
One set a year is actually catering to collectors.
Weirdly, it's like, actually, if we give you less stuff, it'll be more enjoyable and more collectible.
Yeah, give people time to actually do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine there was 3 sets of sorcery by now?
Yeah. Well, time.
Oh, goodness.
Right?
And then they also made it, there was enough stuff, like, I was pretty deep into the process, and I was still, like, opening boxes was still worthwhile, like, and opening packs was still enjoyable. Whereas in a lot of times it goes away a lot faster.
That's true.
That excitement, and I think kind of wrapping this all back around with Warlord. I think we did see with Sorcery at some point the speculators moved in, even during the Kickstarter. For sure. Like it was really evident. It's like,
that was the high time for the bubble. For the speculator collectible bubble. That was when Jake Paul had his Pokemon necklace or whatever,
and all that kind of stuff. But
Jake Paul? One of those Paul guys?
I think it was Logan. I think it was Logan Paul.
Which one? Okay.
I think they're both boxers.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope that works out.
Jake's the one that's fighting Mike Tyson, right? That's what's coming up in a few months.
I think he did all that stuff.
Mike Tyson's 57, just so we're aware.
Mike Tyson would murder that man.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah. Speaking of boxing, now's a great time to punch that like button.
Oh.
Boom, like a punching bag. Smash that like button. Keep little John fed.
We're going to do a jab to the like button.
Jab to the
subscribe button.
There you go.
Yeah. So with the Warlord Kickstarter, though, it very much feels like so far they've crossed 1,000 backers. They've crossed 400K in funding. We're not even halfway through the campaign. And typically you get spikes at the first 3 to 5 days and the last 3 to 5 days, of course. But it feels like that hasn't happened yet, but they're on a sustainable path to success.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
So
it just feels like a genuine interest. It's not like people looking to hold boxes. Which for some people that might be scary.
Yeah. But, one thing that I'm
1022
pretty sure is not happening. The first set is going to distribution, and the first set is identical to the Kickstarter set, except for like the box toppers. Like I think that's the thing that's different. But like, unlike with Sorcery, we knew the only way to get first edition was you got to back the Kickstarter.
Right.
So that's also like, even for my own sake, it was like I had previously been in positions with other games where they had a first edition and an unlimited edition, and I go back and buy unlimited boxes, and it's like, what was I doing? Like, how many Scar promos could I have had, and how many first edition?
Right.
So when Sorcery was going on, it was like, I'm not doing that again. It's like, I'm all in from the start. Let's do it. But if I had known it was the same exact print, I would have been more inclined to back some amount and then wait and decide what I want to do later. Anyways, there's some interesting comparable dynamics.
So yeah, I mean, I think the kind of the
Sasha's question,
the kind of moment that I'd put in there is like, speculation can be helpful as an early investment vehicle for a young publisher if they don't have to guess a print run and then speculators get to soak it all up. Because I think the thing that we have to keep in mind in all this, and this is not true for every game that's launching or launched or even on Kickstarter right now, let's say, just theoretically, Jonathan, that might be the case.
Wait, what did I miss?
That for all creative type people wanting to publish a game, and then I said, no, that's actually not true. There are people not in this category. Most of the time, it's a genuine act of creative human sharing with other people.
Right.
They have an idea, they have a vision, they have a belief, they have something beautiful in their mind. They want other people to experience that, right? When you do a video, when you edit a video, when you get into video editing, when you get into film majoring, all this kind of stuff, I want to share my art and my craft with other people.
Right.
If you were doing this by yourself in the middle of nowhere and no one was ever going to see it, it doesn't really do anything, right?
Basically, people make something they care about and put it into the world in hopes that it will meet someone else that cares about it.
At least one, like sometimes just one other person can make the whole thing worth it. And that's most of the time how this happens. But then that relationship can get interrupted, and I would say 99% of the time gets interrupted by people who are, again, strictly looking at it from a monetary perspective, and they don't care about the actual good or service. They don't actually find value in it. They don't want to engage with it in any kind of way that enriches their life aside from monetarily. And sometimes we see publishers of games or books or anything else play into that from the very beginning. This is a monetary vehicle for you. You can play it, but it's really a monetary vehicle for you to make good on an investment in my company.
Yeah.
And we have a stock marker for that.
What you're doing there, and Zach, you're an economist, you'll appreciate this.
He's going to talk about the Laffer curve.
Is there... What
He's
they're
already
doing is
laughing.
Don't get me started.
They're taking a thing that they care about, be that a movie or a card or a game or whatever, and turning it into simply a widget for people that want to put it on a spreadsheet. Yeah. And to do that, you necessarily have to take the care away from it, because it's very hard to turn something into a just naked commodity if you care anything at all about it. Especially if it's coming from you. Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's a token that doesn't mean anything to me, and maybe you can have it out there and you can turn it into money instead of it being like, hey, here's something I care about. I would like for you to care about it too.
And when I care about something so much, but I can't engage with it because there's so many other people that are turning it into simply a commodity, it is absolutely infuriating and disgusting. And a lot of people feel that way about Magic right now. That even Wizards is playing so far into this, drop all of this, soak up the money, that it's now out of reach for me to enjoy the relationship with the creators and the design team that I used to have. I'm no longer participating in any kind of meaningful way in the artistic reality of this thing.
You almost have to surgically remove the soul out of something to make it into a widget. And if that's coming from the person that's creating it, that's devastating.
Yeah, that can be a problem. And then it never lasts forever. Once that starts, it's over. It will fail. There will either be a giant restructuring of something, like a Warhammer 40K, or it will completely tank. It always will. It'll get all of the interest and passion sucked out of it, and they'll realize, oh, well, now this widget is meaningless because people don't even want it anymore.
Because it's a widget.
Because we made it meaningless. Why don't people want these meaningless things? Take it to the comments. Who's got something to say?
So first of all, Wade was up earlier, but Wade was working.
Wade's awake?
At a comic store.
He's a Wade.
During the 90s.
Who's Wade? Which Wade?
Wade Jones.
The Wade? The real Wade?
It just looked like the light was off.
It's on me. I need to probably adjust it. But so Wade Jones, a friend of the show, was working at a comic book shop in the 90s when all of this craziness was going on. So he's got some insider ideas. And let's see if I can pull it up.
Better, isn't it?
It is better, yeah.
There you go.
I'm also a little sad because I can see the camera shot here where you can see the nice bulk boxes sitting there in the background.
Yeah.
You can't see that in the shot.
What's Wade got to say? Because the Wade's great. I've talked to Wade a bunch.
Let's see if I can find him here. You guys can talk all.
We talked to Wade in Vegas.
Yep.
Talked to Wade at a bunch of different events.
He's a comic distributor. Whoa, even crazier.
I've had beer with Wade in like 5 different states.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at least 5.
Yeah.
Anyways, carry on.
What was Wade's comment?
Let's see. I just thought it was cool that he was part of it, but...
Ooh, I like that point, JS Tropes, or J Stropes. Just Tropes.
There we go. Here's something.
Wade said, it's just a wild time to be in the industry. They would put out these hyped up special covers of books and then hope people would pay a ridiculous price for it.
Like a collector booster pack for Magic?
I've never heard of that before. Had a palette of the Death of Superman bagged issue. So bagged would mean you can't open it or you lose
just
it.
for collectors.
That palette moldered in the basement for ages, unloved.
Literally a product you
Molded.
can't engage with.
Yeah. Yeah, weird, right? I guess it is like a bar of gold at that point. Would you like a bar of gold or a Death of Superman palette? I mean,
You decide.
Just keep the bars of gold with the bars of gold and keep the Superman comics with the Superman comics, and let's not get weird about this.
And of course, gold, has successfully been traded as a commodity with no real meaning for a long time. So I suppose it is possible, but...
And if you really like, doing research and making the best bet you can on which short-term investment is going to go, there's horse racing. We still have horse racing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Sasha was asking earlier if you think it's bad to speculate on the result of a boxing match.
Yeah, let's put them all there. That's great.
That's a great place for speculation, though, for me.
No, but that level of speculation does not interfere with the ability for people to enjoy the boxing match.
Yeah, but also that speculation
until they start fixing them.
Right.
But that speculation does not create value. Like the only value is that you and I bet money on who's going to win this fight. One of us wins, and that's kind of a game that we can play with real stakes. But it does seem so fragile and hollow.
I mean, I don't know that it's... For me, I don't think it's anywhere that I think human attention is... Yeah. I mean, there's so many better things to be doing with your time.
I know people that love that, though.
But yeah, because you love reptilian brain dopamine. Like, I know people who love scrolling Facebook and getting nothing out of it and feeling bad. I know people who love playing Farmville or whatever. All of it is the same. It's just like, hey, can we make money on playing to people's most base neurological instincts that we have figured out, like, to a T?
The answer is yes.
Okay. Well, then we'll do that, and they'll buy it up. It's like, it doesn't make it good, but it does make it very much common. I mean, the casino's packed every night.
Yeah, I see that parking lot. So JS Tropes does have a great question.
Did you see that the Vegas staple, the Mirage, is closing?
No, I didn't see
after
that.
like 80 years.
I didn't see that. I saw Fish was playing the Dome, though.
That dome's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Ball?
Yeah.
So, okay.
The sphere?
The sphere, yeah.
JS Tropes.
Dome.
I love this comment.
I do too, and I have a great answer for it. But just knock it out of the park right here. Tee it up.
I'll bet there's entire books about this.
This is getting a lot into philosophy of art, but I think that it's arguable that things which were initially created to make money can be artistically or culturally valuable despite the intention. I completely agree. And I think...
Where's your face? We need your face.
All right, sorry, I gotta drop
He's
it
like the
down.
Mandalorian. You can't see him.
Hell. Okay. So this was kind of what we got to in our Great Games Are Easy, Business is Hard episode from a while back.
I remember that.
But art can make money. And I think there's even value in recognizing that there's an audience that has money that might care, that's the key word there, care about the thing that you're making and want to spend their money on it. Speculation is not about caring about your product. Speculation is simply turning a cared for thing into a widget so they can trade it on the widget market for more buckets or whatever. Or
money,
butter
or
guns or whatever.
Or currency, maybe.
Yeah, currency.
Pepe Hypercoins.
Absolutely. There is cultural value, and I think many things. I mean, the Sistine Chapel was commissioned. The guy made money off of it.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Well, there's certainly a...
But he didn't put out like Sistine Chapel tokens
but
that people could
were
trade
the
on the
people
Sistine Chapel.
paying-
We're bit of the Vatican, though. I mean, that tells you
on.
everything you need to know.
Was the Sistine Chapel, were they having him paint it because they wanted to have the art done or because they wanted to make money from the art?
Yeah, they wanted to charge people to visit the Sistine Chapel over the next 100 years.
So they could see it.
Was that the intent?
No, it was just a celebration. I mean, it's hard to know.
You could make the argument.
Because he made money on the
How
art,
jaded you
but
wanted.
the art was being prompted. I mean, people get paid to design games.
So even then, even in that example, even if it's being made to attract people to the Sistine Chapel so they can charge people money, there's still care in that entire equation. So the people are going to want to come there to behold the beautiful art. At no part is it ever widgetized and saying like this. It doesn't matter what's on the ceilings. We're just turning ceilings into widgets and we're trading it on the ceiling market. That didn't happen. So that's the difference in my mind, is when the care drops out and it turns into a just widget on a spreadsheet, that's when all the problems start for everything.
Yeah, and it's important that like art has to be, like, creators have to be living in a sustainable... Their art has to be able to be created sustainably. Like, if you want to do this, and this is Andrew's point with Earthborne, is like, if I'm a creator and I want to create this medium, which is board games, I need to find a sustainable way to do that. And sustainability means I get paid well enough to pay myself, pay my staff, etc. It also means that my product and the products that I make in the future don't last forever on the earth. So they need to biodegrade. They need to use no plastic, those kinds of things. So it's fine. Like, artists making money is great. Like, you can't create unless you have the resources to have the freedom to create. So that's great. It's great that people are willing to pay for that. I think it's great that people are willing to pay for that because they love it and because they think it's valuable. I think somebody coming in and buying all 100 prints of your favorite artist's work and then selling them for 5 times the price is not creating any value for anybody.
That's
strictly.
Right. That's right.
Like, in the grand human sense, they're getting more money. And maybe they take that money and they invest it in some kind of beautiful philanthropic pursuit where they suck it up. It's that old, you remember that old quote that Dad would tell us sometimes? You spend 2/3 of your life sucking up all the value and then you spend 1/3 trying to shove it back in. It's like, we got to look at this a little more.
We have a better
holistically.
system. It's like, we have an absolutely better system.
So I definitely ran into this. A non-tabletop example real quick is at Star Wars Celebration events. So first time I went, I'd never gone, didn't know what to expect. But as an example, one of my favorite authors, Timothy Zahn, writes the Thrawn books. And they had these like limited edition alt cover signed Thrawn books that you could get at Celebration. But they were only doing X a day. And then what that led to was us sitting in a line overnight to try to be the first people to this booth of this thing. So I'd never done this before, so we're doing it. And then at like, let's say the doors open at 9. Well, it's 8:30 a.m. And then you see this long line of people coming through. And these are the Jedi VIP badge holders who paid, however much money to get this thing. Fresh, clear, they've all showered, fresh. They probably went and had pancakes this morning. They're all doing great. They walk in, and then at 9, we get let in. And then, like, you go straight to the booth. I was like the 5th person in line. If we were...
Did you do the weird, like, awkward run, but not really a run because you don't want to be that uncool? But
yeah, it's somewhere in
like
the middle.
An
It's like,
run,
it's one of those airport runs, yeah. And then you get there and they're like, oh, we're sold out for the day. And then you look on eBay and it's like there's 20 copies of that book on eBay. That was really frustrating because I wanted to buy the book to have it. It's like the art on the cover is done by Magali, who was one of my favorite artists from the. So it's her depiction of Thrawn.
Wow.
In this, it's just beautiful. It's like in it, but then you see that happening. So on the one hand, that's really frustrating because those people clearly like buy whatever copies they could buy, and every day they can just go in and buy it. Like there's no restriction on them being able to buy a second copy the second day or whatever. But at the same time, there are people who couldn't get a badge because it sold out quickly. They couldn't fly to California, et cetera, that want this book, and they're willing to pay $1,000 for it. So if the thing is sold ever, unless it's sold to someone else who think it'll be worth more later.
Right.
Like even with Sorcery Alpha boxes right now, the fact that people did that and you can still buy Sorcery Alpha boxes means someone today who gets in can actually buy Alpha. So I'm not.
That's true.
I'm not at all defending this.
Well, that is a good defense of it, though.
Behavior, but at the same time, it's like if someone even the Spider-Man #1 McFarlane in a bag alt edition, if someone at some point gets it, and I think the thing about Spider-Man to me is they just played so hard into it, and then the idea of making a comic that people aren't going to open is really bizarre and kind of getting away from the spirit versus like we know this is a new Spider-Man done by this iconic Spider-Man artist who kind of reinvented the Amazing Spider-Man. It's going to be the #1 issue. It's new. It's going to be popular, so we're going to print a lot of it. But like in 30 years, even now, today, I'd be curious how many mint condition sealed versions of this thing there are that someone wants to buy. But anyways, that
is the ultimate free market argument, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like the ideal allocation of resources is that, prices go up, and then if people are willing to pay those prices, then that is the correct value of the thing. The problem, a lot of times with these kinds of moments is I think, and Jack, whatever his last name is, the Patreon guy, he had that Death of the Follow keynote, which was quite enlightening to me, is that the speculation process isn't rewarding the creator with the fruits, right?
Yeah.
So Eric's not getting the $1,200 booster box.
That's right.
He made the great product, but it's the guy in between who's making all the money. And if there's a way to more directly connect those two dots, even if the box ends up being $1,200 on the market, if that's a benefit for the publisher who made a really great product that people wanted, that would be great. But as it is now, they make the same amount of money no matter what the end value ends up being.
Yeah.
And apparently NFTs can solve this problem, Zach.
Well, the thing
They
that's worth
can apparently, because you can pass your token around. And
sure,
then you
yeah,
turn it in
you can
for
get
the
your
thing
piece of the Sistine Chapel, your little picture.
No, it really is supposed to solve this. You've heard this, right?
Well, no, but I need to make a point real quick. Then we'll come back to
Don't
that.
derail Zach.
Which is with both Spider-Man and Sorcery, there's a key here, which is if you alt covers or the playing into speculators and selling them product and making money. Now, the Marvel, they made a lot of money on speculators in the 90s. It wasn't sustainable and it created some problems in the comic book industry, but
Some problems.
all the alt editions of like Spider-Man, like they made a lot of money on.
Right.
So they actually look to see a benefit. They benefited, but the key would be if you're playing into speculators enough or you're not careful and you don't set up the appropriate checks and balances. If enough of the Spider-Man #1 went to the speculators so that the people who wanted to buy it and read it and enjoy it couldn't. And tabletop, it's doubly vicious because it's a comic book. I can read it by myself. I don't necessarily need other people to participate in a comic book for it to have value to me. Now it's helpful. It's like when we both watched the Holdovers movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it now has more value to me because I experienced it, but I also get a post experience, which is us discussing this topic. In tabletop, if there aren't any sorcery players around you or no one else, if not enough people who want to play sorcery have access to sorcery cards, that's a fundamental problem, which is where you get into the way the Kickstarter worked was a little healthier because it was print to demand. So speculators could not keep players out from buying. And speculators didn't mean players had to pay more money. But as we saw with like Fab, with Monarch, with $500 booster boxes, speculators or retail, people speculating, which can be players or
Distributors or
it
retail
can be
stores.
retails, or and importantly, it can also be distributors.
It can also be publishers.
Sure.
You could tuck your print run away and be like, we
Which,
don't have it.
to a mild extent, we saw this, and it's the softest version of this possible. But Sorcery launched a dust store recently, which we'll talk about when we get to Sorcery. And they had alpha boxes on there. And so they're not selling it directly.
Right.
But that was a very... they stated when they were printing alpha, it was like, we're going to print some amount extra. And presumably... they have some extras to cover damages and that kind of stuff. And then we're well past the point where that matters anymore. And they're not just going to burn those boxes. So that's a good way to do it. But all that to say, there's a world where speculators, and we've seen this. Like
We've seen this across time and space.
over and over and over again. Like Destiny got hot and then it was immediately like not available. It's $500 a box. And then players get kept out. So now when they get it back in print, there's less players because that fire has... not burned out, gone out.
Yeah.
By the time they can buy it, and it's just a whole cascade. So it's just if you're making a game, something you have to be aware of. And I think it is unhealthy to play into it. And we'll see. Magic is standing on the fire, and either they're immune to fire or they're going to eventually not have feet.
Resident Obi-Wan coming in to support the point here.
Resident Obi-Wan worked at Top Flight Comics in Cali in the 90s, and most of the early Spectator books sold great, but didn't generate new readers, and then we were stuck with oversupply.
That was what was time.
Important point on the comic book videos too. And I don't remember what your NFT solution was, but that's the hang
I'll let you know.
So from that video we watched, one of the issues that got created is back then, seemingly comic book shops were prepaying for these items. And so they would pre-order basically and pay. And as things keep heating up, it's like, well, it's Spider-Man #1. I have to order 50 copies of each, and there's going to be so much demand. Yeah. And we see this play out on tabletop where a retailer will have 4 distributors. First set will get allocated. So they go to each distributor and say, I want 1,000 of each from all 4. So then a publisher gets these reports and it's like, oh, we need 4,000 booster boxes. And then the distributors come back to retail and say, hey, you can have 1,000 because they printed enough. And the retailer's like, oh, I only want 100.
Now that I know there's plenty, I don't want that many.
It's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden you print at 4,000. And that's a small scale version of this. Can be a very inflated problem. But at least when we were working with distribution, early on we had to pay when we ordered. But at a certain point we got terms where you could order and then you don't pay until X days after delivery. And I presume most retail accounts are in that space. I'd be curious if you're a retailer, if you have terms like that.
Yeah.
But you can see where that would be a big vulnerability. Even now we talk about how retailers have finite cash and they have to turn that cash quickly. And that's where you have inventory that ends up online at half price booster boxes on TCG Player because I have 4 extra. If I can move that, I can buy 3 extra boxes of this magic thing and like on it goes. So if the retail ecosystem was prepaying for everything, you have these little moments where like and you see it where Magic is forcing you to buy, like distributors are favoring people that have higher volumes.
Right.
And so it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it's like to keep buying Magic, even if this SKU is not going to sell well, I have to buy this. And then I just have to do whatever I have to do to get that off the shelf. But if the whole ecosystem was set up where they were prepaying for that privilege too, it does not take much for that tower to fall.
Yeah.
And a lot of those businesses to suddenly go under.
And they do.
And they do.
Even now they do. What we're really talking about here, though, is the ability to connect the entity creating the value and the person enjoying the creation as directly as possible. Because the more stuff that is between those two entities, the more there's just kind of like leeching rather than value creation happening.
Yeah. Daniel, did you see that comment from Daniel?
Yep, I got it.
What did Daniel say? I'd say retailers have 50-50 terms versus paying at time of ship. I work for distributors, so I would know.
That's terrifying. When I saw that comment video earlier, I was like, oh, but the industry's on terms, so like this won't be a problem. The number of retailers that could go out, that's terrifying. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
So, it kind of gets back to this
and
idea.
how do NFTs solve it?
Well, I'll tell you that here in a second. But it gets back to this idea that the publisher, if the publisher was seeing the gains of the market wanting the product more than they expected, then I think nobody would really have an issue with that or a problem with that. It's like, great.
So if Monarch Box is at 500, if LSS was benefiting from that, less of a problem.
I think it's less of a problem.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
inherently they get a lot more resources, which means they can invest more in experiences and more sustainable and all that kind of stuff.
And they have the decision to make to say like, well, and this is the thing that we had to go through, right? If we sell these Monarch boxes at 150 and it just means that people buy them and sell them for 500, then why don't we just sell them for 500?
That's an important point.
Right? Why not?
Yeah.
Why would we play into this market? And that they don't have the option most of the time to turn those valves in that kind of way. But this is where you look at what Magic's doing and you look at Wizards and it's like they're moving to direct sales. They're killing MSRP. They're reacting to exactly what we're talking about. Where they're like, well, if a Magic box is going to be worth $300 in 2 months, we're going to sell it for $300 directly. Or we're going to move it through Amazon where we get most of the pie. Or we're going to do this or that. And so there are ways that you can try to connect the value I'm creating to what a person is willing to pay. But you can also take that too far where suddenly you're trying to convince this person to pay more than they actually want to pay. But you're making this artificial scarcity over here to be like, well... And so now if you keep doing that, the person who can pay $300 is the only person you get buying your game, and you actually end up tanking the long-term graph because nobody can actually play it because they can't actually get into it because all these people are willing to pay so much for the product and then they tank it. So like, it's just about where the control is. And here's what the NFTs are supposed to do. Okay, you ready for this?
Oh, it always all comes back to this. Does it not?
So let's say...
Those NFTs really tied the room together.
Now, of course, a lot of this NFT conversation, a lot of the crypto conversation revolves around the fact that we all have to be using this as a currency, which is not going to happen. It's not, or it may happen in a long, distant future. We need one world government before that can possibly happen.
Bitcoin's up like 300% in the past year.
Right. And look at how much value it's creating.
I can buy things with Bitcoin.
Great. Let's go invest in currencies of developing nations. I mean, like, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
We think people will use this later, so it's valuable now. And if they don't use it later,
I mean,
it's worthless.
They must fundamentally believe in a truly cryptocurrency.
Yes.
That will be the future.
Because the more people that adopt it, the more demand that it has. That's it. It is literally just like investing in any currency on Earth. If you think that this is going to be more in demand because people are going to be using this currency more, you buy into it now, and then your currency is worth more.
How do you buy out of a currency if you didn't think that the future of the currency was particularly good? Like, I don't know, a US dollar or something.
How do you buy out of it? What does that mean?
How do you get out of the,
You turn dollars into anything else.
Just kidding.
You turn dollars into gold. You turn dollars into pebbles. Dollars into pesos. Whatever you want to turn
choose your
into.
currency of choice, I guess.
But it's not particularly helpful for me to hold anything that's not dollars because I can't use them to exchange value with other people in my country.
I don't want to lose this comment.
I know. I need. It was a nice.
But I'm not going to distract you again. Tell me the NFT
So here's
thing.
what happens. So first of all, everybody uses Ethereum or crypto or whatever. And then second is we're all trading on the same blockchain, the same marketplace. And then I sell, Zach, here's what happens. We do a Kickstarter and you kickstart $100 each. You get a token for a alpha Kickstarter booster box. And they release a number of tokens equal to the number of people who back the Kickstarter that want that number of tokens. So let's say they release 10,000 tokens. I bought mine for $150. I hold it in my little wallet.
Cold storage.
Hot or cold,
Yeah.
your choice. I mean, one of them's safer than the other, but you could also just get tanked and then somebody could take your little cold wallet. So you have this little token here, and at any time in 3 months from now, you can turn it into an alpha booster box. Or let's say within the next 2 years, so they don't have to hold inventory indefinitely on the sorcery side. Well, here's the thing. I can sell you my token that I bought for 150 to the next guy for 200, but the sorcery gets 10% of the transaction. So if I sell it for 200, sorcery gets $20. And if 200 man sells it for 300, sorcery gets $30 or $50 or whatever.
Okay.
And so as the demand of the thing goes up, because it keeps exchanging hands for more and more money, they get more and more cash, they get more and more Bitcoin or Ethereum shoveled into their wallet.
Good catch.
And then they can ostensibly turn that into money that they then spend on material.
Or they can just
goods.
spend that on tangible goods if it gets adopted enough.
If the world adopts
basically
it.
trapped indefinitely. That's why.
Yes.
There's no it never disappears off the market.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, that's the dream of, and then you can burn it. The token goes off the blockchain. It X's out, negates because you get the actual physical booster box.
Okay.
So you can do that. You can burn the tokens.
So it would almost be like instead of subscriptions when Fab was going on, if we charge you and it's like you get a Monarch coin.
Yeah.
And then if someone, because going back to pull that Gary comment up.
Okay.
This is
Gary
one,
V in the chat.
Oh man.
Speaking of crypto.
Get me going. Gary said I was bragging on Covenant the other day. Replied sticking to principles and selling for box prices just the other day. Huge statement on y'all's caliber.
Thanks, Gary.
So the interesting thing about this comment is we did exactly this. We sold the vast majority of Monarch boxes that we had at MSRP through our subscription service on release with a free promo and free shipping. When anywhere else really on the internet you could buy product, it was at least $300 or $400 a box.
Yes, that's why that subscription sold out instantly.
And it was crazy. And then we basically, I forgot when it happened, but we had certain spots open and we opened it crashed the site because there's so many people trying to get all in at the same time because it was that crazy. So there's, principally speaking, the idea of, charging for, at that point, you've already signed up for a subscription, getting in on this thing, being like, you know what, actually, we're going to raise this to $249 because we can. Because you can't get it anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
So on the one hand, presumably we could tell based on the average, the mode of subscription was 3 or 4 boxes. That was most people. They had somewhere between 1 and 4 boxes. Some people, that was back before we had caps. That was why we introduced caps, because that whole situation. And then we also introduced caps because, as an example, let me get on my boat for a second.
Just as a theoretical example.
So prior to 2020, how far back do I want to go? Most of our subscriptions were for LCGs, living card games. Most of those would have a $15 pack about this size once a month that would come out. And I don't know that we ever had anyone sign up for more than 2 subscriptions.
Yeah.
It's I want 2 of the pack, me and my friend play, and we're going to save on shipping. So then, Fab comes along. And
so the limit was not a concern at that time.
it never even considered that. And then, late 2020, we had our Fab subscription up. We processed Crucible. Things started getting popular. But we had subscriptions available to buy from like August after we charged for Crucible to December or January. Towards the end of that, you start seeing people come in. They're like, more than 2 subscriptions for this thing, right? It's like, for us, we have this much supply that we know we can sell. So like, let them, we're months of it being available. Let people do their thing. Then you move along, and then it's time to charge. And it's like, oh, someone that signed up for 50 booster boxes, which, 50 times 100 is like a $5,000.
$1,500.
$5,000 charge. Their credit card failed. They have 72 hours to fix it. Then Monday comes around, they don't fix it. So we have this weird position where our wait list for this subscription was it crashed. When we put it back in stock, eventually it crashed the site. But we effectively have, those 50 boxes that we can't go back and let people sign up for subscriptions. What do we do with this? And then the market is also $400 or $500 a box. So then release day comes, and like, this was the strange part. I hope the vast majority of people that got Monarch from us, this is a hope. I'm an optimistic person.
Yeah, I love this. It's about to be clipped, I feel like. Everybody shared around the...
I hope the vast majority of people that were charged and that we shipped to were players who weren't pushed out of the game because they could buy a $100 booster box from us. They opened Monarch, they collected it, they were able to play the game, have a good time. I think a lot of people did that. But there was also part of it that is just the cold, hard truth of the situation. I absolutely know there were a number of people, and especially some of these larger box orders, which is part of where this whole cap comes in. That is not what was happening. Like, they were buying it for $100 and they were immediately selling it for $300 or $400. And the craziest part of that is, no matter what they sold it for, Legend Story Studios makes the same amount of money. Covenant made the same amount of money. And then you have some random person who just gets to sell hundreds.
Not even clever. You didn't even have a clever idea.
Yeah, well, some person who just gets to triple their money because we were willing to sell it at 100. So like, that's the nuts and bolts hard part. You talk about sticking to principles, but it's just the real situation of true stick to principles, but also how do you stop this from occurring? Like,
there's also a principle there. Yeah. Like, that doesn't, just because you're selling it for 150 doesn't mean that the boxes get to people for 150.
That's right.
It means they go to people who sell them for 500. So that doesn't help anybody. We just don't make the money, but some random dude does, and the publisher doesn't either.
That's just scalping by another name.
It's also, no, it's not even another name.
It just is.
Scalping
It
wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and that's where so then we introduced a 24 cap, which I pushed for a little more generous than other parties in that discussion.
I was pushing for like 3.
Yeah, it's like, well, what if it was 1 case per person, 4? But we put the cap in place, and then like that really upset some people because someone has a lot of subscriptions and they think they're on Tendy Town ticket to paradise.
It's like, no, dude,
yeah, and then it's like, well, we're going to restrict you to 24, and then after that's what happened. We had cancellations of people that failed. We had a giant wait list, and then we reduced anyone past 24 down. And then that created space. It's like, all right, we're going to put these back in stock. And then it melted.
What price? Like,
and,
how
we stayed at MSRP.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we have a 24 cap. Let it be.
A lot of those people we bumped down from X to 24 are still mad about it. I still see those names in the Covenant Sucks threads.
Well, and I see theories going through that are like, they bumped me down so they could keep more boxes and sell it on the aftermarket for whatever price. But like, let me tell you, our subscriptions were like 98% sold out. We always keep 1 or 2 for like, at the time we were doing singles, but really it was keep it for replacements. And then once that's clear, we have singles. Like we'll open those boxes to do whatever. And that first one particularly, because I think people got in for large amounts. And then the credit card processes, and it's like, oh, I don't have X amount of dollars at this point. So we had our typical couple of percent, and then we had some more because of these cancellations coming through. But if we were lowering someone, it was explicitly because now we're giving those spaces to other people to get in on MSRP. The goal being give as many players as possible access to this game at a reasonable rate during the insanity of 2021.
And that works. And then, a couple of sets later, everybody's trying to sell them for map or less because the frenzy isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And there it goes, right? It's just wild. And then also, don't forget, like, the guy who gets 1 million boxes and then is like, chargeback, I didn't get him. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you can sink our business by lying. That's a crazy amount of risk.
And let me tell you something about chargebacks.
You can't do it. You can't sell that much.
Do we have enough bulk boxes for this?
This somehow got into like so many issues.
You want to stack them up.
So like the chargeback system is insanity, honestly, because when a chargeback happens, you do it with your financial institution. Like no matter the reality of the situation, they are so inclined to favor their person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Think they stand on top of that. But yeah, that was another risk where it's like, oh, if someone is getting 100 booster boxes, so $10,000 charge, just says I didn't get them, you might just lose. Yeah,
I can't even hear.
Tell me about chargebacks.
You know what we should do? Every time we have a bulk box issue, we should put one here, and then how many bulk boxes do we get to? And then, anyways, yeah, it's things like. We're trying to get better about proactively recognizing that kind of thing, but that is so I would never think about that.
You think about it a little bit,
not
enough to know whether you should do it or not.
When it was going down, I had no clue. That, you know what I mean? Like the first time someone came through and it's like, 50 subscriptions. At first, I remember Steven on stream said, "Hey, if you order." I think it was like 30 boxes.
30 boxes, yeah.
I will hand deliver them. That's how you never thought you would do that. Mm-hmm. It was outlandish to think that would ever happen. That's where our mindset was.
Yeah.
Prior to the 2020 TCG boom with Fab, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know how I even got there, but
things have changed. What do you think? What's your thesis on? What's your final take on? So in that example, the Monarch example, speculators again, creating none value, right? So what do you do about it?
It's nice to be able to see your face.
What's the final volley on this?
I mean, in my mind, I think the best thing to do is be aware of it and then take steps in such a way that you just make sure that's not the majority of who's getting access to your thing.
As a retailer, as a publisher? As
publisher.
A distributor. Yeah.
I mean, retail and distribution, I don't think they care.
It's not even built to care about that problem. I mean, retail in many ways is speculation, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like, I'm going to buy 20 boxes of this because I think it will sell to these customers.
The difference, I think, is that I'm buying 20 boxes of Fab because I think I will sell those boxes to these players. And yes, it will be profitable for me. But I don't think most retailers are buying product because in 2 years it'll be worth 5 times the money.
Mm-hmm. Does the time frame matter, you think?
I don't think it's about time frame. I think it's about intent. So you might have bought alpha. Like, it's happened to me. Like, at some point, the alpha boxes were crazy. And I was like, beta's available. I don't know if I can just, like, sit on alpha anymore, right?
Right, you're sitting on alpha? Are you speculating as we speak?
No. This is what I meant.
It's coming from inside the house, Jonathan.
No, so
we flushed them out.
No, let me tell you why it's not what I'm doing.
That's what I was saying. Intent is relevant. So I never bought alpha to sell it. Mm-hmm. I bought alpha because I wanted to collect it and I wanted to have boxes available to like play draft and sealed. And after hosting draft events at my house with like unlimited Fab product, it was like, this could have just been first edition. Like, why did I do this? Mm-hmm. Like with Monarch, right? I bought X number of Monarch and then it was like, why am I buying unlimited Monarch? I would way rather have had the cold foils because they had split those, right, in the thing. And so with Sorcery, it was like, well, I'm going to buy enough boxes that I don't think I will even need to buy beta.
Nice. You were wrong, though.
Well, I was wrong because at some point the value of an alpha box was so much that I can't even justify drafting it. Instead, I'm just going to buy beta boxes and get rid of my alpha boxes.
So then what are you going to do with the boxes if you can't draft them and you can't sell them?
What do you mean?
Like if they're too valuable to draft, but you're not going to sell them, what are you going to do with them?
Oh, I did sell them.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Yeah.
You didn't intend to, but then it got so hot that you had to.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying about intent. I didn't buy the boxes I bought because I thought I was going to sell them.
Man, that is a fascinating question. It's almost unethical. So if you if the result is the same, but the intent of the buyer is different, is there any meaningful difference in the outcome?
Like a good example of this, right? I bought this Warlord stuff to use.
Yeah.
But even this Dust System Cloud City, apparently these are worth a weird amount of money.
Really?
Because like they're worth, like they cost a lot of dust. This and the color out of space and whatever. And they come in this nice little, but I'm gonna open it and sleep it. It's gonna go in a deck, right? Because I bought this to use it.
Right.
But like this Warlord stuff, maybe someday is gonna be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And at some point, I might have to make the decision: is having this anymore? It's almost like earlier you were saying, did I buy the building just because in 20 years it'll be worth money, or will it create? Will
you
it
use it in the meantime? Yeah.
Have value in the meantime?
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like I bought this to use. And sometimes you buy things aspirationally. I have a lot of miniatures that are this way.
Aspirational.
But
Everyone.
yeah, but like I have
I'll
some.
pay this, I guarantee.
I have some. I originally bought Lord of the Rings miniatures from it's not Games Workshop, partially because I wanted to have painted miniatures to use for Middle Earth CCG. But some of them, it's like, well, you know, the Gimli Legolas on a horse is in this set that's like kind of hard to find. Or it wasn't hard to find at the time, but now they don't make it anymore and it's suddenly valuable. So I have found myself in this industry where it's like I have this thing that's weirdly valuable and I could have any Legolas miniature and accomplish the thing I'm looking to accomplish.
Right. Okay.
So anyways, the intent is different.
I guess the intent does matter.
Let me call chat in here because
it does
they're
matter.
blowing up and it's topical. Usually we have to rewind, but this is super topical. So the first one,
Let's
and
get
I think
chat on a bulk box. Here, what if we?
this is important.
Rhombus. Speculation puts regular players in a weird spot too. I was lucky to have a couple boxes of Welcome to Raid the Alpha with the intent to play, but by the time the prices blew up, I couldn't justify not selling it.
Yep. And then we've got
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes.
Marco. Sasha saying, I felt the exact same way with the Golden Tunic sack. At some point, they became so valuable, I didn't feel responsible owning them anymore.
I actually have run into that
Yeah.
with random stuff before.
And then finally, again, to the point about speculation being bad, even if it's making money for people, you've got Rob Deep here.
Yeah, there are lots of situations where players sell out because the price of their cards 5x'd. And that's not really speculation, is it?
That's
It's
right.
not a speculative asset for you because you're not speculating. You just are confronted with a reality that is like, oh, well,
Yeah.
this is no longer worth 5x what I may as well move it on.
It would almost be like a weird but apt example of this would be, let's say in the late 60s, you're in your 20s and you bought a 1969 Ford Mustang. And then you loved the car and you kept it really nice. And then it's today. That's worth way more than you paid for it.
Sure.
And you may have used it and had a lot of value out of it and stuff, but I don't think the person buying that 1969, most people were like, someday.
Yeah, right.
This is going to, even the same way right now, if you have a pair of OG Michael Jordan 1s from the 80s in good condition, it's worth a lot. But there wasn't a lot of people being like, I'm going to buy these shoes because they will be worth a lot someday.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Timothy here saying speculators have any function which is to send out proper market signals. And I think I don't know that I agree with that. I think a lot of times they're sending out very bad market signals. Speculators are wrong all the time, and they created an ecosystem or a market that is reacting completely wrong in the moment. Like if somebody comes in and buys out all the MetaZoo stuff early on, and then the market and MetaZoo says, oh my gosh, this game is so popular, and then they print it to the moon and then it dies, speculators sent wrong signal, right? So they're not a beautiful, accurate force.
And that's why I was saying, like, as a publisher, it's a force you have to be aware of.
Yeah.
And if you were MetaZoo, you really need to be sussing out how much of this is genuine demand and how much of this is speculation. Because eventually the speculators are going to realize, like, time will pass and it won't be true.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you need to be aware, how much of it. And like, fortunately for something like Magic, there's enough sales happening, there's enough of it being made and sold that even if there is a lot of speculation going on, volumetrically, it can't be the majority. Like, product is getting bought, opened, and played.
You know, it'd be even more interesting, Zach, is if there was almost like an alternative to the current status quo that found a way to understand that speculation was going to happen and manage it in a responsible way so that players
the grin on your face right now.
could still benefit. Even it could have already been done with certain games
Like
that stayed at MSRP for 5 months. I don't know.
if it could just stay at a reasonable price for a long time.
As an idea, if
Conceptually.
if a retailer were to develop such a system, and that would, I think, be a net good for everybody involved. But
You know,
I'm just a random person.
that would be one perspective.
That would be one take.
You could maybe make a case against it, or not. Anyways,
And
you ready to cover some?
games could utilize
On that note,
system.
it's the Simon. Simon says, with sorcery, the dust system serves as one measure to determine the amount of redeemed product, which helps determine player demand.
Yeah, because you have to have different inputs. The existing inputs are insufficient to actually connect the dots.
That the dust system is genius for a lot of reasons.
We'll see more of these things. Also, that's why Taylor Swift gives you a ticket, it gives you the access to buy a ticket. If you have engaged on Instagram, if you're a fan, if you follow the stories.
Well, so like I got
find ways.
the reason I got to go. Well, not really. The reason I went to see Taylor Swift Eras Tour, I may have gone either way, but they had some issues with the ticket stuff up front. But then anyone that had attended the previous concert tour,
The Comic-Con model.
got a you can have up to tell us how many tickets you want, up to 4, I think, or maybe it was 2, and tell us the maximum price you would pay for a ticket.
Whoa.
And then we will charge you.
Radiohead.
We will charge you, and tell you what tickets you got if you
Whoa.
want it.
I
So
had
they
no
let everyone.
idea.
Yeah, they let everyone out of the queue, and you can basically pick 0 to 100, 100 to 200 to all the way up to 400. Mm-hmm. And so and this is the kind of seat you would likely get if you are willing to spend this much money. And you have to agree that we can charge you for this whenever we're ready. And then I got an email that said, "You've been charged for this. Here's your tickets."
Wow.
But
now, could they verify that you actually attended the show in person? Your ticket was scanned. It was you who was there in the seat. So if they can't do that, it's pointless.
Well, it was partially because of the previous ticket, but the Reputation Tour ticket, I think it was the people that bought tickets as part of the verified fan program. And so they had this extensive, for that tour, 60-day thing where it was like, okay, you sign up, you give us this information, we verify these details about you. And then every day you have the opportunity to do something. Like, click this link, watch this video, like this thing, whatever it is. And the more of that you engaged in, the higher up in the queue you got for the Reputation Tour.
Yeah.
And so I think they did it for all the people that were in that queue.
Cool.
Because it was like, anyone past this threshold, you can't, a speculator would not be willing to put this much time into this thing.
Yes.
So, we're going to remove
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's particularly bad whenever the threshold for profiting off of a speculative asset is being there first. End of story. Like, if I get to the target line before the kid who actually wants the Pokemon cards and I can buy all the booster boxes, that has got to be the wrong way to do it.
Yeah. But that's why
it's easier for the retailer.
I'm pretty sure the email I got was actually limit 2 tickets.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, how many of these do you want?
We will see more of this as things go along. Tabletop's just going to be slower in the uptake.
As it will be with everything. I mean, the industry is 30.
Yeah.
People have been going to events and concerts and plays and stuff for thousands of years. So
Got a little time.
had a little more time, and there's more volume, right? Concerts are a much bigger problem than access to booster boxes on the world scale.
Yeah.
Anyways,
At some point, also, I'm going to get into BattleTech.
Yeah, we'll do it.
It's happening. Speaking of slow.
Joe Phillips saying Zach only got the tickets because he gives T Swift so much free advertising with the TC crowd. I don't know.
We got the same old thing happen where right as we're moving to the news, the chat's blowing up and there's more great stuff to talk about. There's always more great stuff.
We're gonna have to
Well, I mean, whatever makes a good stream, and it's about 200 people.
We're gonna have
Are they
to.
smashing that like button? Are they speculating about
If
the like
there's not
button?
177 likes on this video, I'm leaving.
I bought a put on the future of the likes.
If there's not at least 200 likes on this by the end of it, we're never streaming again. The old
Man,
the Lord will strike me down with
put
lightning.
joke. That's a great
Anyways.
options trading joke from John.
I mean,
See that
he
coming.
he has some amount of business education.
He does.
I do. I started out as a business major.
I know
I
what
did.
happened.
I went the opposite direction as most artists, where it's like I started a business major, but I was like, I can't believe you're doing business instead of art. Can you imagine how many parents tell their children that?
Yeah.
I said, I can't believe you're doing art instead of business.
Mm.
So eventually,
I mean-
I took a microeconomics class. It's the only class I ever skipped, and the next year I was in art. I
Yeah.
said, no, but this is the
The fascinating thing is a lot of times I'm envious that you had a parent like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I decided to go into business school, it was like, I'm a saint.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this idiot got a theology degree. Kid number one. The second one didn't even finish. You're gonna do business? Great, you'll be good. And then Covenant started, and then Dad's like, we're in the back of his office. I have no idea what is even. How are you guys doing anything?
How are you making money?
When are you gonna go get a
still
real
don't know.
job? Yeah.
I just couldn't consider enough. Like I could only look at so many graphs of theoretical bananas before I had to just know about it.
Well, the problem is you're in economics.
Yeah, and it bothered me.
So to me, fascinatingly enough, like business, looking back, part of why it was so appealing is it very much feels like playing a game. Tactics,
very
strategy,
much. And
deck building, the whole thing is like. I was telling you the other day, like I think you would have enjoyed business school immensely if you could have gotten into the creative, strategic vein of it, and not the boring nuts and bolts stuff.
Can you pull out this comment from Timothy?
Thank you for looking at that because it's pretty deep in the weeds, and whatever you want to pull up, I'll pull up.
Basically saying, I'd agree that having a customer bases that is nothing but speculators is not good, but maligning speculators as a whole is not right. So, why? What is the upside? Somebody tell me the upside. Like,
if we didn't have speculators, would the world be a worse place?
Tell me an upside that is not linked to a fundamental failing of the system as it is that couldn't be fixed over the long term, where speculators are not needed, wanted, etc. Right? I think there is problems with signals between demand on the ground and publishing/creation. But I think those are very solvable problems that don't require random middlemen to spike prices and then make a profit.
I mean,
And one of the point, it's a long ways ago. Ravdeep is the one that talked about it, but he said really the most concerning thing, I think where speculation gets really sour, is that spike, that short-term spike. We're not talking about long-term investors. We're not really talking about long-term speculators, but it's that short-term, quick turnaround speculation that is really at the heart of this conversation.
So I would bet there's really smart people out there who are in the like law/economics fields. These are the same problems playing out where it's like giant mega fund can super short a stock to the ground and make it go out of business. It's the whole GameStop thing, right? Where it's like, if we can get them to go out of business, then we don't ever have to pay any of this money back and we're rich.
Right.
And so there's similar forces where like you can go with the capitalistic freehand market reality, but the problem is the tabletop's tiny. And so you can have people come in, and if you even had a group of 10 to 20 people with some money, they could do some serious insanity in these indie games. Like
They probably do already.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee they do already. 100%, yes.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. So I think the general approach for me is like, if you're aware of it and you're building in things to hedge yourself against being harmed by those forces, trying to fully control it. The problem is this is decentralized. So it's not like I see it all the time where people think publishers have all this power over distributors, over retailers, and how they do it and how they sell it and the whole 9 yards. And it's like, it's not like there's a governing force or like in the stock market there is. FTC, SEC, there's all these things that are supposed to be checks and balances against this stuff. But even in capitalism, one of the biggest gaps in people's understanding of it is that even from the beginning of it, it's not supposed to be unfettered, unregulated, and like monopolies are the greatest evil imaginable in the capitalistic system, and things are supposed to stay small. Like I think right now, America is way past center. Like it's not even close. Like companies should not. But the problem
I
is,
can hear you being tagged on Twitter already. Zach.
yeah, watch out, gonna get canceled. But the problem that you run into is that, you know, Apple competes on a global scale. So like,
right, everyone has to play by the rules worldwide because globalization is true.
If you start breaking up Apple, now Apple's going to start, and we're already facing this to a degree, they're going to start losing to Samsung, right? Who's not an American company, et cetera. So it's a very tough, it reminds me of this where it's like, it not playing the big game with the rest of the world is a problem, but zooming in, it's also still a problem. So you have to just find a pragmatic middle ground, and a way to not get dunked on by it. But it's very hard, and most of these indie publishers are tiny. So it's like the dust system for Sorcery, and having the cash in for the points, and the fact that you can play to earn points or buy boxes to earn points, etc. That is elaborate, and it's really impressive that they're doing it. I think that's a really cool innovation that in space that they're exploring. And if the codes are getting scanned, they know those boxes are being opened. So they can better gauge actual demand and not people buying boxes to put in their basement.
Do you think if it was possible to create a world where buyers were buying products to use them, that was the only people buying the products, that would be net better than what we have now? Like if you were only buying the Jordan shoes to wear them, if you're only buying the booster boxes to open them?
I think we kind of pointed at it earlier, which is distribution and retail is speculation.
Sure.
To an extent. Like distributors are buying products that think they can sell them. Retailers are buying products because they think they can sell them for more than they paid. Like actually fundamentally, what's different between that and me buying a box of Fab at $100 and assuming that in 10 years it'll be worth more?
Right. Well, I mean, one of the differences is you're incorporated as a business entity. And so the value that you're getting from the exchange is taxed and regulated ostensibly, and these kinds of things. So there's a different rule set that you're playing by than an average person who happens to buy 20 graphics cards from Target and can sell them on eBay for $1,000. You know, like where is that?
But like a retailer that buys boxes to speculate on, they could also speculate, right?
If the retailer is there to get boxes into the hands of players in their community, and to sustainably do that, they need to make profit, then in our perfect world, that's a fine exchange.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if you could create a world where the only people selling a thing or buying a thing were buying it to utilize it, I don't know that we lose out. I know there's
It's an interesting thought experiment, isn't it?
There's efficiencies that are lost, which is the whole game, right? Like distribution, being able to buy products that think they can sell means that it will be available for retailers to purchase. Whereas retailers, if retailers alone were buying it or players alone were buying it, they may not buy the same volume, right? Where it's like, if even with the Kickstarter for Sorcery, if the only way to get those cards had actually been the Kickstarter, I think you would have a big problem. Not really a big problem. There'd be a lot less players because the number of people willing to pay 6 to 12 months in advance for a collectible card game that's not even out yet is significantly smaller than the number of people willing to buy it today and either have it shipped today or off of a shelf today.
But all of this is built to go get something that somebody created into somebody's hands who wants to use it and enjoy it.
If that is the purpose,
could exist without distribution and retail in a perfect world, and these products down here could still be used. So we had an entity, a local entity that was, the bar that David's playing at Sorcery, doesn't need distribution and retail to enjoy Sorcery. So in a perfect world, these things don't even exist, because the more direct the connection between the creator and the participant, the more efficiency we have. We just currently don't think that there's enough ability for nobody in the middle for that to work.
Yeah, well, it kind of comes back to, depending on your scale and size, right? Like the capacity for a publisher to sell those products and get them to those people has to exist.
Right.
And you might not be selling enough to have a warehouse or to have staff shipping things or to have all the things that you might
and you
get.
You can't get the word out with the marketing and the awareness. And so nobody's aware of your product.
And eventually all these things creep in and we have all these other people involved in this system.
We build the middle systems and then they're there but to facilitate flow of products to
the craziest thing to me is that Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Absolutely do not need those things. Like if anybody can pull it off, it's them because they've already got the scale.
Yeah,
they could absolutely, and you see it. I mean, they're selling direct, they're selling through Amazon, they're selling, etc. And then they remove MSRP and like it's this whole thing. But they're in a different league too than pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, but I think that's the difference for me between retail distribution and the individual speculator. Is that distribution and retail are established systems to get the product to the customer. We don't need the individual buying out Monarch boxes and selling them for more money to get them to the individual.
Sure.
That can happen without the person in the middle. The person in the middle is just slowing the process down. That's all they're doing. And they're taking a cut of the profits for themselves. So get them out. Remove them. I'll use my Andrew Navarro voice.
Just get to it. Just get
There's nothing there.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for news yet?
Yeah, I think we got good news.
I could go on.
we could
What time
I
is
need
it?
to give
Jeez.
Timothy a chance to answer the question I actually asked, though.
There's been a lot of good responses here.
So we can see the argument that retailers are speculators, just that they're speculating that they will be able to buy at distro and sell at market, not be saddled with clearance. That's right. That's fair. Speculators take a risk. They stand to make a lot, but also lose a lot. But like, again, where's the value in that?
Where's the chatter?
You look to see who'll benefit.
Yeah.
That is the
I'll go through the.
I mean, to my point earlier, like if someone is planning to utilize an item they buy, even if purchased from a speculator, their being access to alpha boxes source right now does have value. Now, the difference is, I think it's the disproportionate nature of it, where like Sorcery off of that $150 box made $150 selling it to the thing. And this, it's like us selling the Monarch box.
That's the Kickstarter cut or whatever.
It's like the fact that a speculator gets to make $1,000 on an alpha box for buying a box a year ago at $150 and just waiting. It is crazy that all they do is buy a box to sell it at that. But to that end, Sorcery could have attacked that a little bit and been like, oh, we're going to make 10,000 extra and we're going to sell those at $150 directly on our website right here.
Yeah. And keep doing that until they slow down.
Or forever.
Yeah, that's true.
You can buy alpha at $150, period.
Well, that's not a collectible game, Zach.
It's definitely still collectible. I challenge that.
Huh.
Actually.
Huh. That's just an LCG with a lot of steps.
No. That's
Just
not.
make it infinitely available, right?
It's still like getting a curio as an example. If they infinitely printed as long as people were buying them and that was the price they were paying, it's still collectible.
That is still, less common than...
The same with foils and uniques. And it's like just the scale of product that someone would have to buy. If you started Sorcery now, but you could buy boxes at $150, like who is
like
this?
alpha boxes.
Sure. Let's say there wasn't beta. There was just alpha.
Yeah.
Now, their Kickstarter may have been less successful if they framed it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because the guy that bought a bunch of alpha boxes, the Sorcery could have also tanked.
Well, I think even the people that bought, like even in my example, which was I think good, like a good intent, was, well, if I'm going to buy Sorcery boxes, it's now or never. Because like I don't want to end up buying them, beta later. Like I'm going to buy alpha. So I bought more than I would have bought if they had said, this will be in stock at $150 forever. Mm-hmm. In fact, I probably would have just been like, I'll buy some to get the whatever exclusive box topper that you get or whatever.
So they may not have gotten their upfront cost that they needed or their upfront revenue that they needed to actually get the game off the ground.
Yeah, but I think that you could have a situation where product is infinitely in stock at MSRP and it would still be it would still be collectible.
That is a beautiful take. How have we not talked about that before? That's amazing.
That's why we uncovered it.
Well, let's do it.
Well, I mean, like, did us having beta for Sorcery for 5 months in stock at MSRP make it less collectible?
I don't think so.
I think it made.
But the idea was that it would eventually run out. If the intention was this will be available forever, I don't know what that looks like.
Well, the part of it that makes it work is that if you know you're always going to be paying MSRP for this thing, and it's random, so like. You could buy infinite boxes and never see a Philosopher's Stone, technically. So, like, at some point, you just break down and buy a Philosopher's Stone, right? A trade for it or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. We've never seen it happen. And it's insane to think that a physical, like, part of it is just not practical. Yeah. Like, once a year helps a little. Like, you could do this longer. But even 5 years from now, having 5 SKUs that are just always in stock and always being reprinted, like, and you eventually get to the scale where it's not reasonable to reprint. Like, once demand really tapers down on the thing.
I think Fab found that line with Unlimited, did they not?
Well,
that's essentially forever in stock. I mean, it is though, right?
Yeah, but that was like, to me, that's a classic. I mean, there's a term for this kind of trap in stocks where it's like they listened to all the distributors saying they needed 1 million boxes and they printed 1 million first edition and 1 million Monarch Unlimited. And then it was like way overkill. Yeah. And then now distributors and retailers have way too much. And it's like, well, go down until we get rid of it. And then it's like, oh, we can't go down far enough. These are worth $5 or whatever. I mean, who knows? Especially Unlimited. Weirdly, Unlimited might be more rare than first edition in that case.
That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was more first edition open than unlimited.
That's just a fascinating take, though.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways.
But yeah, all the marketing knowledge and marketing ideas are like FOMO it out, get the money now, get the upfront cash so you can invest it faster in new initiatives. So you want to limit things so that you encourage action, human action from the brain. Because, as you said in that Kickstarter, what if this is the last time I can get this? I'm so scared to miss it that I'm going to commit now. That's good for Sorcery in the short term.
Yeah, because if it was
And the long term.
forever available, then there's no rush to buy it. Mm-hmm. It's the same reason that the last 5 days of a Kickstarter see a spike.
I think it's very important. I think it's a very important thing to know. And as much as I would like it not to be the case, I think people, I mean, look how many people file their taxes on the last day, me included.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature, right? The other thing, there's a comment that came through about the price or the spike in Monarch prices brought a lot of attention to FAP and a lot of free marketing. Like in the same way that Sorcery having a $4 million Kickstarter was a topic of conversation.
Do you think, I mean, was the marketing like this game is hot and people want it, or this is a game that you can make a lot of money selling?
I think a lot of players are nervous to get into a game.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing.
And it's confidence.
Play with people.
Yeah, it's like, well, if these boxes are $500, that says two things. One, they're going to be people to play with, and two, like, it's just human nature.
Yeah.
If everyone in the room is like, ooh, we want this car. You ever played Dirty Santa? It's like, oh yeah, we all know that the iPod got opened and everyone wants it. But now that makes everyone want it more. Even if I already have an iPod.
I know.
But it's just human nature to be like, oh, that rock is special.
Yeah.
I need that rock.
Yeah.
One day we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out how to market without exploitation.
Is it this like spiritual consciousness revolution that has to happen? People are talking about. Just go out and camp or something. I don't know.
Oh man, can we get to the news?
Yes,
please. Once Steven's head is in his hands, it's time to go to the news.
Yeah, there should be a time code for this moment in every story.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you for the comments.
Yes,
I didn't address them. It's tough to have a one way kind of. Here's a comment and then here's a response, but we don't actually get to have a back and forth. So,
well, there is a place where you can
come to our Discord. I'll
come to the Discord.
Go to the podcast discussion
channel.
Ever
since reading that Anxious Generation book, like anytime I see this asynchronous mass communication and realize this goes wrong every time, it's like, well, we have direct messages for that now. We can actually talk like human beings.
Or next time, when's the next convention? When's the next?
Yeah, exactly.
CubCon.
Let's go get a beer and talk about speculation.
It's literally just going to be a convention about this, like this part of the stream.
We're just everybody talking about
it's just a bunch of people around talking,
awesome.
You know?
We'll just call it a session.
You get a big like table wide charcuterie board. Everybody that has ever not got their stuff addressed properly, come
it's your time.
And we'll chat it out.
Yeah, and it'll be
what kind of news do you have?
I have all the
news, dude.
Is there a lot of news?
Well, it's enough. Warlord.
Start with the W's.
Kickstarter. It's on. Hey, I'm just.
Well, it's the top line.
I like that.
It's relevant.
Yeah. I'm reading the teleprompter.
To demand.
You know what I mean? Kickstarter. I mentioned this earlier, but crosses 400,000 and over 1,000 backers.
Yeah.
Great to see. And that would put me based on what I know from projecting Kickstarters. I'm gonna guess they land between 800,000 and $1 million.
No way.
Which would be a rousing success.
That's not. They will not get that high.
All right. You want to speculate on that?
Yeah.
What do you want to put? A beer?
$20. No, I don't want to bet you actually money.
Loser brings beers for stream.
Stream beers?
After the stream immediately following the Kickstarter closing.
All right. What's the actual number on your side?
What's the number? What's the lowest number I can get you to bet on? 700,000? You think it'll get 700K?
I think 800 is probably the breaking point for me.
Okay.
I think it'll be under 800.
Under 800.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
over 800.
Okay.
Whoever's wrong brings beer to the stream following the close of the Kickstarter.
And it doesn't have to be a beer that we know the other person will enjoy drinking, right? It can't just be like a punk beer.
I'm not planning on punking you.
Oh, I didn't ask that.
You can do whatever you want, but it would be nice if we could both enjoy it.
Such a nice person.
Perhaps there's a Warlord themed beer out there that would be appropriate.
Yeah. Okay. Done.
All right.
Not that I don't think it's worth. I think that the value of it is worth that. I just don't. It doesn't feel like the kind of game that's going to suddenly be millions of dollars going to pour in at the last second. I mean, you either love Warlord and you probably already know about it, or you don't.
Well, I will say this: with Earthborne on both their campaigns, prior to the pledge manager shut up and sit down moment that went ballistic.
Yeah.
That is an anomaly, right? It'd be funny too if I just like knew something you didn't know.
You
right
call
now.
Quinn's up. You're like, hey,
Well,
dude,
it's like this
about
creator is about to drop this video. It's
yeah.
going.
Well, Tom also could do that because it's his favorite CCG.
If you're out there, Tom or Quinn's, just know there's a lot riding on this, and I would appreciate it. I'd owe you one. But even a non-collectible expandable card game like Earthborne had this very similar pattern. A lot of people are like dipping their toe or they're following it, and they're not going to commit until right at the end.
Yeah.
They don't want to file their taxes till April 15th. So it's not about I think there's some meteoric thing going to happen and suddenly $1 million is going to pour in, as much as we're not even halfway through there at 400. Usually it's pretty even on both sides of the fence in terms of beginning of the thing and the end of the thing.
Yeah.
Plus I'm hoping Woodrow and Josh put something in the campaign that makes everyone that's already backed it like
No. See, I hope they don't do that.
well, I want
Cut
it.
through it.
I need to win this
Cut
bet.
through this garbage
Yeah.
can, just stoking the worst of our emotions and
I don't think
fears.
they're going to do it.
Yeah, they're not going to do it because they've been playing the game for 20 years. They don't need to hype you up on it. Do you want it or not? Anyway, what have we seen? First day got to like 200 some odd thousand, and since then we've gained 100.
Can you put up a poll to see? Can you get the audience to bet on who's going to win between the two of us?
You know I can.
I feel like speculation does offer value.
It's entertaining.
We're having
Like,
fun.
So it started, first day was 222,
Yeah.
and it has since grown. It actually lost 32.49 today. So
What's it at right now?
my bet is on. It's at 400. I think it's been up and then it's come down a little bit. I think it's today that it dropped.
Timothy's saying he'll be at Gen Con. Maybe you'll see you there, Steven. I have a feeling Steven's not going to be at Gen Con.
Yeah, the baby stuff is a bit of a
We're both probably going to have less than a 1 month old at that time.
yeah. Not a great time to be going to see ya. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Hope you're all
my
right.
goodness. All right. So moving on through the news. I got to get there. The update of the Kickstarter page to be more clear about the retailer pledge level, and
Love
even
that.
the Brine friends, the $1 customized, and then they have the starter tier as well. We were looking at that campaign last week.
Did they do that? Let's see if they actually did that.
Yeah. Trust but verify. Let's see it.
Okay. Is it
Almost there.
starter decks?
Stay on target.
Okay, then you got all these.
Stay on target. Where
Print
is
and battle. That's
There it is.
cool.
Ooh,
They
you
did the
almost
print
made
and
it.
play.
Yeah,
decks.
that was the next thing
Good
on
for
my
them.
list. Add the print and
Pledge
play
tier,
battle
Brian's
decks.
Fiend. Gain access to add-ons. See below and build your own bundle.
That's
Great.
$1. Build your own
And
bundle.
they meet at the end. Qualifying brick and mortar stores pledge to get access. See below. Squire bundle. On the art now. Boom. 6 precons, 1 booster pack per faction deck, 1d20. Warlord bundle.
800K. Here we come. Here we come. Also, if you're out there watching,
Guess I should have known this for
just
you.
know that I would owe you one if you helped us get to $800,000 on this Kickstarter. It's my new smash that like button.
It's $7.99, man.
Dude, no, I'll go in there. I'll be adding boxes to my
Oh, dang it. I forgot about that.
it's like,
market manipulation.
I guess I'll sell my house.
Talking about market manipulation
Making
here. This
Steven-
man wants some beers.
Making Steven buy the beer.
All right. In a minute, once we get to like 50 to 100 votes, I want to know.
I think
the
your
results.
votes are backwards, Jonathan. It says Steven greater than 800,000, Zach less than 800,000.
Oh,
No,
That's
I
it.
did the
You've
thing
screwed
wrong.
it.
Dude.
The alligator went the wrong direction.
I've never seen a Chad hanging so big on a ballot. That machine got destroyed.
Let's see what I did.
Oh goodness!
Oh, greater than-
New poll coming
No,
soon.
because it's eating the bigger number, right?
No,
No, I did it wrong.
This-
didn't you? Zach is greater. Than
this is
Nick.
greater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Pac-Man.
Zach's bet is that it would be greater than 800,000.
Can we get a new poll?
Yeah. We'll
Can we cancel that one?
We'll get a new.
Recount the votes. So that updated the Kickstarter page. They added the print and battle decks. We finally saw the Deverinian Warlord. I saw that this morning.
Hold on, I got it. I'm coming in.
And he's
Oh
I've
wait, no,
seen
that's
that.
new. That's new.
Oh, it's newer than John's new.
Newer than me, yeah, I
Oh
just
man,
saw it posted.
I'm gonna be honest. He looks exactly like a character I'd want to play, and not like one Steven would want to play. But I might be wrong on that.
What's
Let's see,
the
what's his
ability?
name?
He's a human knight. You just gotta pull it out.
I'm going to go in there right now and take
I remember
a look.
reading it and saying, "Yeah, I would play that character." And then it's not an illusionist. I'll tell you that much.
Is it Burn? Hey, big shout also to Quinalo in our
Yes,
Discord,
thank
posting
you.
a ton of really useful stuff, new basic decks, that kind of thing.
Oh, that was so cool to see.
And like
You pinned
staple
it. You
cards.
pinned
I
the thing.
pinned it. I pinned it, and nobody knows where pins are in Discord, but I did it anyway.
That's the guy they showed right there.
But they have the art now. But same idea.
So Human Knight, limited order, target character performs a melee strike that inflicts an additional wound against characteristics.
Oh, I see it.
And
Yeah,
he just-
see, this is not me. I wouldn't play this.
I told you.
Yeah.
But it looks exactly like a character I'd be drawn to, so he must be a good character.
It's red and black and troubled.
Well, he just looks
So
like he's
it's
going to
Zach-
murder
it's
something.
Zach all
you
over.
know?
Yeah.
All right, so we got that. They posted the Gen Con events. There's draft sealed because they can do that now. I think it's supposed to be with the new booster boxes, no less.
Also, Zach, what if the Church Enforcer Tancred is just kind of like misunderstood? You know what I mean?
So the alligator.
Like they think he's evil, but like he actually has like there's actually a redeemable path.
Some redeemable quality there. He's bad for a good reason, that's relatable and we can all understand. He might have some slightly stale dialogue that is childish in nature.
Hates sand, etc.
Definitely hates sand everywhere. All right, that's it for Warlord.
Oh wow, Jason is Quinalo.
Oh,
And hey,
well,
for
that's
real,
incredible.
Like massive.
Jason's been
thanks.
crushing our streams and our Discord.
Because
Yeah,
a lot
Jason.
of people have been coming in. So the story is, a lot of people have been coming in. They did the print and battle decks. They're like, this is amazing. I want more. And the crazy thing about Warlord is like, there's 4,000 plus cards of more if you want to start diving in right now.
Yeah.
But that can also be super intimidating. But it's also there. And so Quinella Jason has been putting the work in to make decks for people who want to go to the next step.
That's
and
awesome.
To kind of narrow down that card pool for your step 2, your like print and play. And the crazy thing about the Accord Lens is you can make a deck and print and play it right there.
Right
Boom.
there.
Press
Boom.
a button.
You can print that sucker right up.
Yeah. So come to our come to our Discord.
Come to our web
Our
videos.
web cord.
Our web
And
cord.
if you're like J.K. Lawlings, you might just sell your house and your car and
Oh,
move
man.
to a different country
He's living in a box
just
of
to
Warlord
play
now.
more Warlord Ancients.
Man, I'm telling you, every cartoon I watched as a kid had a sand trap.
Mm-hmm.
And it only recently dawned on me that they weren't really, like, sand traps don't really exist in the universe, but they do up here. And he fell right into the Warlord sand trap. Harder than I've seen anyone fall into a sand trap before. That character
He
is
got all the way down to
gone.
the secret level in Mario on that bad boy.
Yeah, man. Went through the wrong
Under
tube.
here, there's an Ancients
Anyways,
format.
I did see a comment earlier, someone saying there was apparently some friction with some legacy old players and some new players. I don't know where that was happening and playing out, but our Discord has been nothing but rainbow and sunshine. So if you're looking for a space to be welcomed into this game, I posted in the Discord, I welcomed someone yesterday, and it was like, I'm also new.
The story is, and I'll post it on our because I was watching the
I
comments.
didn't hear about any dissonance.
No,
I'm
it was
always
just
slightly interested. That's my
someone
brain
went
thing.
to the
Spill the tea.
the old timey Discord, the Warlord CCG Discord, and ask a question. And the answer, and it was like everyone was kind of like all the old hats were there, all the old heads were there, and they were all kind of whipped up, and they
all
were
of
like
them.
joking around anyway. And then he jumped in kind of at the wrong time, and like they were answering in like a joking way to them, but it came off as very unwelcoming to the person who was posting.
It's a
which-
common misunderstanding.
yeah, like they accurately felt like they were asking something to an in-group who had no need for them.
Right. I've been guilty of that myself.
Yeah.
at
yeah.
times.
So, and then they came over. I imagine. So then that got posted on the Kickstarter. Someone recommended our Discord as a place that was welcoming to new people, and then we've seen a couple new people show up since.
Well, great for that. Yeah, I found the key is a lot of patience and grace, followed by just straight up banning people.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have grace on the front end, but then it's just like, okay, when the threshold is crossed, you're gone. Like if you can't be here, you can't be here.
That was a classic local vibe for us, which was like everyone is welcome except for people that make it unwelcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And we try.
And we'll try and we'll let you know. We'll give you warnings. We'll tell you, and then we'll say you cannot come in the store again.
Then you're gone.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
man, hold on. Sita, our friend of the show.
See, I just want to say, guys, lost my mom a few weeks ago. So sorry to hear that. My wife lost her mom recently, and I can have some relevance there. Your streams, the cast, the Discord, you guys have really kept my spirits up. Cannot wait to play War with all of you. Well, that is just really meaningful to say. Thank you so much for being a part of it, and we're happy to help in the little way that we can here in the world. Sucks, man. There's nothing to say.
It's hard.
Yeah, losing a parent's very tough. And it's for me at least, it was
Yeah, you lost your dad fairly recently.
during the early days of the pandemic. And and I knew this at the time. I remember my wife asking me, like, you know, I'm not a particularly emotional person. But she was just, the idea of losing her mom was like, would be earth shattering for her. And so I was telling her that I thought the most difficult things would be the future things, like having a kid. And then it's like, oh, dad's not there. Dad never gets to meet this kid. Kid gets to grow up. And then it's like, oh, you never. And I have nieces and nephews that are older now that got to engage. And it's like, that is the heavier part to me. For sure. So hopefully you're doing well. I know it can be like, depending how close you are, like shock up front. And then it hits. So Godspeed, man.
Yeah, it's very, very obvious for us right now with almost having a child here. Shannon just being like, oh,
like with her mom.
Mom's not going to be able to be with me in the first month like she was with Skylar and that kind of stuff.
Life's hard, man. Life's hard. And then it makes you, it frames up the speculation conversation.
Yeah,
just like, what's the point of all this?
Please, just focus on what matters.
Yeah.
Other news?
What matters? Yeah, it's like, how do you even pivot out of that? Yeah, it's just devastating. But glad that our lighthearted banter about things that really don't end up mattering that much.
But they do.
Matter a lot. They do. It actually does. But
it's humans doing human stuff.
All right, alphaclash. Only thing on the list is the GameFound preview for the Cosmic Conquest board game is up. There's like 250 plus followers on that at this point. If you haven't checked it out, it looks great. It has the planets on it and stuff. Reminds me of Quantum. I love Quantum.
They're kind of following the Skytear model, aren't they? Just like, let's just make products in this world and just explore the space. And
that was their whole, that was one of the key things up front is we want to build an IP. So they did a card game and a comic and a novel and now a board game. So it's wild how much they're getting done for how few people they have.
Yeah, so true.
Man, what a determined body of, group of people just chugging through. And it really feels like with the card game, they're hitting their stride. So I'm excited to play it limited with you once that comes out in a week or two. Next, I have Arkham. It's kind of fun. It really does feel like I'm reading from a teleprompter because outside of watching those videos on speculation, I didn't read any of this before now. So it's like, you could have so many things here that I would just like walk right off of a cliff.
I'm trying to write more colloquially too, so like you can kind of just ease into it. This one particularly, I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, so announced at the beginning of May was the FFG Darkness over Arkham, the first Arkham Horror Investigator Gamebook. Essentially, as Jonathan wrote, souped up choose your own adventure book.
Wow.
In quotes, if you played a game book before, the basic concept might be familiar. The book guides you through passages of evocative narrative before asking you to make choices about which path to follow next, presenting you with a test of skill along the way.
I freaking love that they did those.
And you have a character sheet.
I remember those old books that I used to play that with the character sheets and all.
I didn't have the character sheet version, but there was the like Goosebumps choose your own adventure books. And then it's like
sneak in there past the folks.
And it's like, you know what's weird? They let me read Goosebumps. Yeah. Like unlimited Goosebump access. Like the number of books they bought me for Goosebumps.
Like
crazy.
Werewolves and vampires and stuff.
I loved it.
I also loved Goosebumps. But also, how does this get through the pipeline?
So there's a reason I have a fundamental lack of respect for structure and authority, which is I grew up in an environment that made no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, why is this wrong? And this,
that's
or
why
like
friends are philosophers.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, why can we watch this movie? It's like clearly this is way worse than like you're questioning Star Wars because Yoda's Eastern vibes. Like, what is this? Anyways,
how did the Arkham book? How does that happen?
I don't know, man.
I would have thought immediately that is not getting through an Asmodee cost structure.
Is it FFG that's doing it?
FFG is doing it. It's on the news part of their site. It's like the third one down. And it's written by, like, I forget how they say it, but like a very popular game book author. So there's this whole genre that we don't know anything about. I know this guy is part of that, and that's what it's the same publishing company that published the last short story one that the last one MJ was involved in. She wrote a short story for it, and then they published, of course, the game, the one where you go all different places on the map. Name's escaping me. So the same publishing house, written by a famous game book writer.
It's just a weird. It's a weird bet. I wouldn't expect the Asmodee Corporation to make.
Evergreeny, probably pretty low cost.
It's just that like they seem to be consolidating.
Yeah.
And this is a really strange expansion.
Somebody had to really have cared about that and pushed it through the.
I have a couple questions coming through real quick. First, Big Hank, any word on restocking old Mythos boards? Are you guys out of that for the foreseeable future? So if it's listed on the website, the intent is to stock it. We're moving a lot slower on those, generally speaking, and
it might not come back.
It might not come back. So I don't really have a good answer for you.
We'll kind of probably decide on that here pretty soon. If we just, rather than being this like gray space, we should make a decision, yes or no, and then pursue either
one or the other. The other one,
solutions or no solutions.
Joe Phillips, speaking of Skytear, the Kickstarter expansion monoliths are arriving soon. And who was asking?
Mr. Yowl?
Yowl. I don't know. That's up to the content gurus. I do own it. I received my box of monoliths in the mail, but I'll leave that to them. Still, Giacomo and Ricardo, still some of my favorite people ever. Wishing them nothing but the greatest of successes in everything they do. It seems like they have a kind of Earthborne scenario going on where their first Horde Kickstarter was here, and the second one was actually here.
Great. And that's what you want.
That's really good. Yeah. Hey, let's speculate a little on this. But I mentioned speculation real quick before we move to the next game. Do we have results of the poll?
Yes, we do.
I just want to win something real quick.
You'll be very happy about it because you win. 58-42.
Okay.
Exact.
Yeah. There's people that are with me. We ride at midnight. All right. Next up.
Such a strange character, really. This is strange.
Your reaction?
I don't know, man.
There's something special about someone still being able to surprise you in just the strangest way.
I've been on his eye forever, and sometimes it's still just like, where did that come from? Where are you riding, anyway? I do know it's a quote, but just not what I expected, really.
I can't. I even got myself.
That one was for you. He served the ball to himself. Spiked it. Serve, set, and spike Zach.
Literally crying.
Yeah, what's next?
Which I don't do a lot. Next is Ashes. Siege of Lord's Wall has been charged. It's releasing June 7th. And that's all that's going on. I need to recover. I need a minute.
June 7th.
My eyes are watering so much. I don't know what happened.
It's going to be a good one.
Are we going to play that at some point?
Yeah,
Post Kickstarter?
Jonathan, make sure we play that on the streams.
I'm very excited to see you guys play.
You've got to be right after the Warlord Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
I think it ends June something or other. I think early June it ends. Play Ashes, guys.
Oh,
why are you not playing Ashes? If you're not playing Ashes, like the video.
Yeah, you have two options. Like the video or...
Play Ashes or like the video. That's your choice. Or stop watching.
I stopped.
He was like he got the church house giggles, man. This is a genuine church house giggles situation.
I'm trying to come back.
The preacher's trying to preach.
You're just whispering.
All you gotta do is look at you. You look, and then that one.
You know you can't laugh.
It's still on the precipice. You look over there. It's gonna happen again.
You can feel it. You can feel it.
Corlash saying that comment made me switch my vote. Sorry, Steven. Well, dang it. So even more people are going to write it midnight now.
There's so many writers.
I knew my audience. Okay.
You can write at midnight. You can like the video.
We will play that expansion on stream.
Okay.
I also really want to play the new alphaclash set.
Yes.
Limited.
Unrivaled.
Particularly with you. And then Mistveil's coming out. So Fab is the next topic. They had their world premiere in Tokyo this weekend. This is their big push to enter
Smooth
Japan.
as butter, that one. Nothing worth talking about with that premiere.
Dude,
it seemed like it went very good.
You can't do this to me right now.
I didn't hear about anything weird about that.
Yeah, nothing happened.
I will tell you this. There is a beautiful person in our Discord, screen named Loose Leaf Tea, who made the trip to Japan for part of the Mistveil premiere. and
Tyler?
has been posting about it in the Discord and has had the time of his life.
There you go.
I think
and
he
I
had
am
to
so
have
stoked.
the best weekend in gaming anyone's ever experienced. Based on the things he was sharing, it was just like, how do you keep getting so lucky across the board?
It's the way that he's talking. It's the way that you look in the pictures. You know, where you're when you're traveling and it's at its freaking peak, and
Everything's
you are
just hitting.
living the best of your life that you could possibly imagine. And it's just the energy of that is so wonderful to see. So that is what I am taking away from the Parthemisfeld premiere, is that Tyler is having an unbelievable time.
Yeah.
And I
Well-
love that it's delivering like that.
World premieres of a new set, playing limited, are, I think, the best experiences I've had in tabletop in terms of large gatherings of people playing. Like, there's like more intimate 2, 3, 4 people hanging out, really good, meaningful times and exchanges and etc. But in terms of just like, we had this with alphaclash in Vegas, where a bunch of people experiencing this new thing at the same time, it creates a different energy. There's like an
it's an
openness
awesome
and a learning, and there's not this like gatekeeping. Are you good enough? Can you talk on my level, etc. And then this is particularly interesting because there's another language present, which is, I think the colony itself, you actually have Japanese packs and have these little books printed that have all the cards translated,
Wow.
so that English speaking people could. But
Wow.
but
That's wild.
one of the cool
That's
things
really a great way to do that.
from the international pro tours for me was like, typically, you play 14 rounds and 10 of the rounds would be from someone from a different country. So I've played games at a pro tour with people who don't speak English,
Yeah.
and you have a game. That's one of the insanely powerful things about these games, is that they are really truly this medium of connection and communication. I could play Fab with people and not know what the text.
Yeah. And even then, at the end of that match, they'll end up in the wolf pack.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah, man.
I can express my willingness or my desire to invite them without speaking their language.
Yeah.
Just
And
give them the symbol, and,
And then they go, and then I go, and then we're done. No more words need to be uttered. Anyways, what was the name of the? You have it here. I hope you have it.
Parthemisfeld?
No, you don't have it here. Oh, the notes are gone.
Tokyo?
Michael Fong.
He was semi-final.
He got second.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, and Brody was top 8, so I was proud to see, speak of the Wolfpack, them doing well across the pond and doing their thing.
And who was it that won? I saw it on Twitter. I don't want to get it wrong because
It's like
from Taiwan.
Okay,
Yeah.
from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? People, I mean, I just have to imagine that Brody and Fong and these guys are just playing an unbelievable amount. They have so much experience. They've been there from the start. They've been in all the U.S. And then people who maybe started the game a year ago
Or a week ago.
can come in and wreck them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and
Just
that's
goes to
one of the
show
fun
you.
parts of World Premiere Limited Calling, is that like they did a top 8 draft, and as far as I'm aware, they haven't drafted before.
Right.
So like you go into it, and they may have been drafting the whole time in the calling, but like unlike a month later when the pros have played 1,000 drafts or whatever it is, right? It's just kind of a cool. Everyone's learning together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chuichi for rightly saying so much amazing water art in Misspell. I know.
Which means I'm completely uninterested.
I know.
Steven loves it.
Zach's my vehicle for Fab, so
Well, the vehicle broke down. We ain't going nowhere.
It's on the side of the road now.
all I can do is limited now, which is actually perfect for me.
Yeah.
We don't have to even bother with constructed.
Yeah. Let
I
go.
don't have to fake playing with you. I can play limited.
It was all
instead.
ruse.
I don't have to run Bolton math for 7 hours by myself at the deep night of the tiny house.
Yeah.
Be like, well, if I charge a card, that's worth it. It's like, that number's not working. But if I carry still not. Nope.
There's not enough math here.
And then
But,
they gave Bolton like busted cards this time.
All of your favorite heroes throughout time are now like tier 1.
I know. Well, again, that's the beauty of the Living Legend system. Every tier becomes tier 1 eventually.
Yeah. And we all knew by the time they were tier 1, you would be nowhere to be found.
I'd be nowhere to be found. Yeah, no way.
All right, next up we have Earthborne.
Ooh.
They continue the weekly Ranger report.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's do the numbers.
Their pledge. What did you say?
It's a part of like the weather.
Let's do the numbers.
Do the numbers. You read the thing.
It's a
Weekly
perfect
Ranger
day.
report is the 20th of May through the 26th of May. Watch out, because In a place as large as the Valley, sometimes it can be difficult to find who or what you're looking for, but given this week's continued good weather, doing so might be just a little bit easier than normal. Shuffle 4 Valley cards into the Path deck at each non-pivotal location instead of 3.
That's 33% more Valley cards.
But I thought people said the game was not hard enough. And here they are making it easier. What's the point?
It's because it's a beautiful day.
What's the point?
Beautiful
Zach?
week in the Valley.
If I'm not getting challenged 24/7, I'm not interested.
Yeah, what is the point? I had a we played day 5 of our campaign.
Wow,
my
blazing
group.
through it.
4 players takes a while, man. You can only get so many days in. But we do have not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're planning like a Saturday
Jam.
hang out and play however many days we happen to play.
It's probably 2 or 3.
But I will say, well, can I say that without spoiling? Where are we at on spoilers, Earthborne?
Say it in a way that's clever.
It's raining. And
a freaking poet over here.
And-
wow, Hemingway just
wait,
through the chat.
It's not supposed to be a haiku?
pair of baby shoes used.
So it's raining. It started raining yesterday on day 4. Some would say downpouring. And when this happens, we were prompted. There are certain locations that we could potentially help.
Yes.
A certain quantity of locations. And at the end of day 5, we had helped all possible locations.
Oh, dang. Look
Well
at
done.
you guys.
And we were fortunate enough that at the end of that process, we were at Kobo's Market.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were immediately prompted to go somewhere really close. So on day 5, still, we completed the next thing.
Oh, look at him go.
We got to the next thing and then I don't want to go too far now, but it's still raining. And we're having a good time. We're having a lot of fun. 4 players is crazy.
I imagine everybody has something to do every time.
Well, it's just like
something they're good at on the board, mostly, because you have so many cards coming out.
And I think the two things are the path deck doesn't get bigger. Mm-hmm. So, and I love Andrew's answer to the thing I'm about to say. The path deck doesn't get bigger, so we make it through the path deck quickly. Like if you're looking for certain water-based cards that you need to show up, it's like we find it way quicker because there's 4 of us. Mm-hmm. And then when there's a tricky situation, the odds that one of us has a really powerful answer to that particular situation is also pretty good.
Yeah.
Because we have a mix of cards and stuff. And sometimes someone else solves the problem, so I don't have to use my card, so I get to save it for the next problem. But I was telling Andrew, or I was just saying, basically, that it's that feeling of it feels like it's not scaling up to 4 players. Difficulty-wise, it's not really difficult. Difficulty's wrong. Just like
the experience
experientially, it's not scaling. And then Andrew just smacked me with like the perfect response, which was, well, if you're a ranger exploring out by yourself, things are going to be harder for you than if you're a group of 4 people who are trying to solve problems together. And I was like,
it's like in real life, except it's not all like real life, man. Group projects are the worst.
Yeah. But, another thing, it just happens, and it's at this point it's just comical. But I'm the character. My character is 3 spirit of all the stats, and 98% of the time when a person comes out of that deck, I'm the one drawing it. Mm-hmm. Like just happens.
It's just happening.
Just happening. Huh. It's like, oh, the person's always like
consistent random.
There was one session.
Are you playing with Matt?
Yeah.
Is he shuffling?
I don't know. I'm not watching what he's doing. But there's one moment where I had like 6 humans in front of me, and it was just like, what is happening?
Wow.
Yeah.
You were holding court. Cool.
They were just drawn to me. What can I say?
Very impressive.
There's on Earthborne. There's some late breaking news. You can either refresh your page, or I can read it for you.
Refresh the page.
Is this the designer's former project?
Yeah,
thing?
you got it.
I need to refresh nothing. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Pledge manager is still going on. It's going to close in mid-June, so watch out for that if you want to get on the pledge manager. We should have it available at some point after that as well for people to pre-order or whatever.
More to the point.
I don't want to.
Not even should,
We will have that available. Introduce a new segment where they do a deep dive into the designer's former projects. Discuss so far Fallout, the board game.
Oh, interesting.
Rune Wars, the miniatures game. That's really cool. Next up is Arkham Horror, the card game. I wonder who that could be.
That's pretty cool.
It's MJ.
That's really cool.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Did you guys see that they're only $1,000 shy of $3 million?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Andrew, congratulations.
What?
That is banana town.
Bananas. Absolutely bananas.
So they've almost tripled where they were at the end of the campaign in the Pledge Manager phase.
Wow.
Are we at the point where Andrew should be buying us a yacht?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, not so we can enjoy it privately, but so that we can
Enjoy it publicly?
We have Earthborne experiences on it.
We can finally do the gaming boat.
You know what?
Gaming boat.
You know what?
It's time for gaming boat.
This checks out. So yacht, and then we'll film content on yacht. Everyone wins.
It's a simple equation.
The beauty of the plan is simplicity. It's a 2-part plan. Buy the yacht, film on the yacht.
Yeah, done.
And everybody benefits.
Everybody benefits. Like to see what benefit. It's everybody, including the people watching the yacht content.
We're getting really into yacht content. This is our next pivot.
I mean, that's been the dream all along, right?
I think this is
Just
the direction.
kidding.
Target audience is ready for yacht content.
All right, next up, Marvel
Imagine somebody
Champions.
watching all this wanting to watch a Warlord game.
Just sticking around.
No, there's a reason that we're cutting that up. I think.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Sometime.
But good things take time.
This is, never has a true statement been spoken on this stream. Real lift to God's ears. MCC Marvel Champions. IceMan Hero Pack has released.
Yeah, it sure has.
I saw they posted one of the best
kinda
looking
hero I really
playmats
wanna play.
they've posted for that game. The IceMan
Really?
playmat. Yeah, it looks
Well,
great.
that makes sense. It's got ice and it's kind of got the sprawl.
They've officially received the "Don't make giant logos on playmats" memo,
Yeah,
which I'm a huge fan of.
it's great. Yeah. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat as well.
All right, next up, Sorcery. The dust store is functional. Look at this.
I'm gonna hit the bathroom.
You can't. Can you top down?
I can
Yeah.
that, yeah.
This is Cloud
Right there it goes.
Cloud City,
There it is.
which is one of the promo cards you can get. That's what I ordered. It came just like this. So it's in this like plastic container, and inside that is the card. Oh god, we're doing it live. I think this card will come out. You just see me
It's
like
an unboxing stream now. We're about to get 10,000 more views.
there we go. So it's in this individually wrapped plastic. It's got the full art back, which is beautiful. So it's live and functional. I bought one thing I didn't know. I was really tempted to get the hoodie. I went back and forth on getting the hoodie. I was really tempted to get Color Out of Space. Went back and forth on getting that. And I was like, you know what? I just definitely want Cloud City, and if it sold out, I would be devastated. So that's what I chose. And I'm saving my dust right now because you just never know. I didn't have anywhere near enough dust to get that alpha box, though. That would have been
Great.
crazy. But yeah, this is really cool.
Thought that was a good move.
I think one of the more profound elements beyond their ability to track box openings and how many people are actually engaging with the game in that way. Obviously, it adds value to the box because you get something else for having bought a box. Even now, I saw people in the Discord saying, I had a sealed box I was planning to save for something. I went and opened it because I wanted the dust because I wanted to get this thing, which is different. I haven't seen a game do this. But one of the more profound pieces that is now in play is you earn dust from playing in the Play Network. So you can actually earn dust in these promo cards and stuff. And they're kind of centralizing organized play. Whereas a lot of times you typically would have had to get this to a store. And that's another one of those scenarios where indie publishers getting distributors to distribute your prizes isn't inherently a lucrative thing for them to be doing. And it's these little cards that they have to distribute. It's really strange. So they centralized it, and you can essentially cash in these points to get various things. And these are like, this is a unique card. I mean, it is unique in the art and stuff, but like playable, unique that you would have to get in a booster box. So kind of opening up ways for players to get cards outside of boxes, which is cool.
Are you planning to sell that later?
No, I'm going to open it and put it in a deck.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
People were asking, it's like, are you going to, I don't know, seal it? And I don't know.
It's already fairly sealed, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to open it up and put it in a sleeve. I just don't have any sleeves here, actually.
So essentially, you could you buy a bunch of boxes, or you play in a bunch of events, and then you turn that into a card. And then there are some people who will not play events and not buy a lot of boxes that want the card, and you could sell it to them.
Totally could.
That's not really a problem, is it? Is that an upside of speculation? Is it gaining access to something that nobody otherwise would be able to access because they can't participate in the system?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
in that case, you'd be buying it, selling it to someone who would sell it to someone. Is that right?
so here's a simpler version of that.
Here we go.
someone with
party.
dust who doesn't want the card or the dust could cash in their dust for money and sell it to someone who otherwise wouldn't get it because they don't have the dust to get it.
It's basically like dust is Bitcoin, and money is money.
Well, the difference between dust and Bitcoin is that you can use dust for something. you can spend dust the only way to buy this is by spending dust. Whereas there's nothing that I'm aware of that I can't. There would have to be things that I can only buy with crypto, like Bitcoin, and there may be these things, but things that I would
you
want.
can only buy a
Ape.
Raz token
Raz
with
ape.
crypto.
Like I said, there's nothing that I want that you can only buy with crypto. Otherwise, Bitcoin would have value for me if the only way I could buy this was Bitcoin.
Yeah, right. But that's what dust is. Dust
Yes.
only has value because you can buy that with it.
The whole thing for me with crypto, not to dive into this
I did
trash
not
can.
want to go here at all. I was just making a quick joke.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get out clean.
The only thing about it is,
A little callback.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how far.
All I'm saying is because you have the dust, somebody else doesn't buy into the dust. They can't get it. You take that dust, you convert it into a thing you can only get with dust, and then you convert that thing into money, which this person has, but they don't have dust. So that's a fine exchange.
That's
Nobody loses there, do they?
That's not as much speculation to me. Would be I cash this in, and I'm like, in 6 months when these are not on the dust store anymore because they're going to sell out. I don't even know if you can sell out. What the plan is there. This will be worth way more than it is.
But the other
right
thing
now.
is, like, this doesn't really matter for players.
It doesn't.
Playing,
Yeah, like
enjoy the game.
this being speculated on is not going to prevent people from playing the game.
Yeah, maybe
So
that's the line.
it is
we
a
should draw.
different thing.
Maybe that's the line.
The other thing that is clever is that this item you can only purchase one of.
Great.
So like I can't just spend all my dust to buy all the Cloud Cities I can buy and then corner the market on Cloud City. Now I could
It's like they saw this coming.
on the secondary market buy all the Cloud Cities that pop up and speculate and like buy them out and play that whole game. The other thing is like I could hypothetically register dust to multiple different accounts that are all owned by me.
Is that easy to do?
I don't know. I haven't considered it or tried it. But after the 2020, I look at things differently. Anyways, I think it's cool. It's a cool way to do it, and there's unique art on it, and it's beautiful, and it doesn't really affect anybody negatively. I don't know.
Yeah. It's awesome. Way to go. I think they did this. This is a great thing. Why is nobody else doing this?
Sorcery also, it's so hard. You have to have the technology, and then you have to build the system for cashing it in and tracking, and then you have to build the system, all these custom things that you have to make, and then you have to have a system that can fulfill these things, and
it makes you
customer
no money.
service on that. And then
it makes you no money.
It does not presently
Isn't that
make, it's not directly contributing money. Now, however, people can earn dust by playing. And the more people that are playing and engage with the game, the healthier the game probably is, which then in the long term, hopefully creates a more healthy ecosystem where you're successful.
And if you tell two people,
So
and
if
they tell two people.
But it's like
So if
very
I get
indirect,
reward
right?
miles, I'm more likely to fly.
Yes.
Also, what's up with flying anymore? It's just a waste of time. I've had 3 people that have flown recently. The most 3 recent stories about flying that I've heard, probably the only reason I'm hearing the stories.
I was going to say, it's
A little bit of survivor bias there, or whatever that's called. One of them was like delayed like 18 hours randomly, and then they got routed through a new airport, and then they were like 20 years late, and then another one just got canceled straight up just for whatever.
yeah, my last flight
Decided.
was horrible.
Why are we doing it like that? What happened? Is it because the planes are going down now because Boeing's imploding, or is it just because of?
I don't know,
up?
man.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
not hard.
we'll have a whole stream about.
Why is
figuring
it
out the
so
aviation
hard?
industry.
It didn't seem to be. It wasn't hard previously to get places.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is there just less aircraft? Somebody knows the answer. There's like
Somebody
an
knows.
obvious answer to why all this is happening, but I'd rather just.
Do we have any pilots? We have a lot of mailmen, but do we have any
pilots in the
chat?
audience? Any pilot?
Yeah.
Anyone hear a pilot? What else? Are we playing Warlord yet?
I hope to God. So, Sorcery posted a video on how to set up and use the Sorcery Play Network, which is how you can earn dust not through booster boxes, which is cool. Also, they posted their Gen Con events.
Steve Jobs would be sad about that, by the way.
Which thing?
That they're putting out a video explaining how to use the interface and how to,
Oh,
if it was good enough, it would be self.
I agree. But, the other thing
But
is...
you on the Apple Pencil, dude. You don't know anything.
I think I know a lot of things. The thing is, with this particular thing,
Good counterpoint. Good counterpoint.
it would be very good UX if it was intuitive enough to not need a video. Truth.
Yeah.
but they're also really not in the business of tech.
Right.
This is an add-on piece.
Also, you have to market the new thing. You gotta let people know it exists.
Yeah. So it's part education, part that, but also, just because there's a tutorial for how to play sorcery doesn't mean that they've designed a bad experience in my mind.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
I've said a lot of things today that I didn't mean to go any further than just a quick chuckle.
Smart.
For the record.
I'm suddenly defending like Steve Jobs' take on the sorcery interface. I don't know that I have a real perspective.
In quotes,
on that.
In response to the overwhelming turnout at Gen Con 23, we've doubled our event capacity while staying true to our commitment to fostering a relaxed, welcoming, and friendly atmosphere that defines sorcery.
They doubled their event capacity?
Apparently. 3 64-player booster drafts at Gen Con.
Wow.
And a 64-player constructed champion event and learn to play events.
That's a
throughout the
massive scale up. I think when we were in it, last year it was 8 people, 12 people,
they had
16?
3 or 4 8-man draft pods.
Amazing.
8 person. And then they had, I think, the 32-person constructed tournament. So then.
And you guys are featured prominently on that blog post.
I did see that.
Well, wouldn't you?
It was funny. I did not really recognize us at first.
You didn't recognize the back of this bald head?
No, I'm not usually staring at the back of your head, actually.
It's true. It's face to face on the stream.
And then I don't know, it just like took me 3 or 4 seconds. Like, oh, that's me. I was like, oh, that's Steven. That's us.
Back when we were young and happy.
Yeah, last August.
6 months ago.
That's really good for them. I'm happy for them. Somebody passed a Curio Free City last draft that I was at Gen Con.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was alpha too.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Ooh.
I wish I'd gotten it passed. Would you have said somebody to the person that passed it to you, hey, it was the first pick, you get past the Free City Curio. Do you say, hey, dude, before you pass this seriously, you should know that this is worth a lot of money?
I think I would have to say something.
But would you? But would you really?
I think I would have to say
in
it.
the trenches, though. Would you? We can speculate on it now, but would you?
That's why I said I think. I don't know what I would do.
Perhaps over here.
Perhaps
he's not got a care in the world. He's got a yacht on the way.
Yeah, man. We got the Earth yacht.
I'd be thinking, man, I wonder how much siding this could buy me.
Yeah,
it's hard to fight that instinct, of what it could do for you.
It's hard to say. I don't even know if I would have known it was a Curio though.
Yeah.
So maybe I would have passed it.
So you definitely hope that the third guy, it's like a game theory thing.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, man.
We'd have to just put you in the simulation and find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to think that I would say something.
It's like if I was working in a restaurant and somebody tipped me like $10,000, would I be like, hey, just so you know, you actually tipped me $10,000. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of that vibe.
Taylor's comments funny. Fam, one of us just made like $3,000. Nah, it's mine now.
Can we get some love for Corlash?
Corlash 1990, great year. I can't wait to draft Sorcery at Gen Con. Also, my first time going to Gen Con. It's great. Great advice that I can give you is enjoy your drafts at Gen Con, but get out of that hall. Get out of it. Don't stay in there and get sucked into the white noise like a locust.
Suck you away.
Get out there, go find a good restaurant or two, walk around outside, go down to the In-N-Out Burger. What's that place called? The Steak and Shake?
Steak and Shake.
Go get a sandwich down further into downtown. Go to St. Elmo's if you can.
I was gonna say if you got the budget, go to St. Elmo's.
You want to
make a reservation.
Go explore the weird hotel areas. Go look at the RPG rooms that are going on.
We've been there how many times over how many years, and we still haven't seen everything that there is to see.
Wander.
It's crazy.
A good 14, 15
Don't
times.
try. Just do the things you like.
Yeah. Hit a few drafts, make some friends, go out to the bar.
Hit some more drafts.
And also
different kind of
wander,
draft.
like at least once.
Yeah.
Maybe after the bar, the wander is a little more exciting.
Truth. We made it to the end of the news. We can finally free ourselves from this torture.
You guys need to do some stretches?
What time do we start? What time do we start at 1?
1, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
2 hours and 33 minutes. Short form content is just...
You could have watched like the Lord of the Rings by the time this is over.
Yeah, we would be at the Balrog moment of the Fellowship of the Ring. You shall not...
You didn't know you were getting the director's cut today. What are we playing?
Not this.
Okay. All right.
Well, I believe...
Yes, these are the Woodrow Warlord decks.
So Woodrow sent some lists, and you know what? We're going to go all the way back to the 90s because we have... Or I guess 2000s, because we have Warlord decks here in penny sleeves.
Cool.
So it's going to be delightful. But he created 2 decks for me that Fabio over at Card Game Geek built and sold to me. And I haven't even looked at them.
Okay.
So there's 2 decks.
Who are the warlords?
Well, let's find out together. We're just gonna look at the warlords and choose.
You're all black there.
Hold on, guys. I know you can't see anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, they can hear it.
Is anybody out there? Oh.
There's a weird glitch, but I'm gonna fix it.
Let me find.
It only happens in this one, but it's also probably because there's like a billion cards.
So it looks like Mercenaries is one of these. Is that what this blue is?
Well, usually I don't think a deck would be straight up mercenary, would it? It would, but they could
you
work
can have
with,
a mercenary warlord.
They could also work with any warlord. We just got to find the warlord card. It'll say
The
warlord
only
on
thing
it.
about having a mercenary warlord is you can only start mercenaries.
Yeah, cool. I like that. And then can you play anything else color-wise? Or you can only play mercenaries in the deck?
No, it's the other way around with mercenaries. You can put mercenaries in any deck, but I don't think you can put anything in mercenary deck.
Hold
Someone
on.
can correct me though.
I'm looking for the keyword warlord.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's how you find them. These sure look like your level 1s.
And that looks like a level 2.
Well, it is a level 2.
Is this thing a warlord somehow?
Like together?
Jackals of Morn?
It looks like it is, doesn't it?
You tell me.
Blink dogs.
You know what? Hold on. Let me actually look up this email.
Mutt's amazing blink dogs.
Hold on. I think this stat goes with that.
That
But
is
let
an
me just
inside
verify.
joke for me.
Oh. Adarimi, Adarymy, I think is a warlord over here.
Does it say warlord on it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, good.
But there's we're shy of warlord, which is what I'm looking for right now. Let me just make sure.
Are these cards actually a deck?
I think so, yeah. Let me just make sure. It might not be. I may have bamboozled this.
Man, if there was ever a more classic Zach Bunn moment than this one, I gotta tell you,
I was told
it does not exist. It's constant with this one.
This one.
I didn't read it, but now that it's crunch time, I would like to do it.
Zach and I I have a lot of sympathy. We're very similar in that. Like, I do a
And
lot
I'm
of
around you both
trusting.
all
I do a
the
lot more
time.
trusting than I do verifying.
Okay.
Around
So
you both all
deck
of the time.
A is Free Kingdoms. Adarimi. I don't know how to say that. Can you say that for me?
Adarimi is fine.
Adarimi
Or Adarami.
is definitely the warlord of deck 1. The second one is Elves. And San Janelle is
Could you,
the
spell some of that?
Saunginel
Okay.
is the warlord. But let me just look at something really quick.
But where is that warlord?
That's what I.
Hey, you know you got packs in here?
I do.
Dude, what are we doing? Let's rip them.
Yeah.
Rip them and dip them.
Hey, hold on. Let me find this.
He's going to speculate those things. He's waiting to speculate.
You gonna sell those bad boys?
No.
Tefferoth? Do we need Tefferoth?
I don't think so.
No.
It's almost. Hold on.
Well, I'm glad we can do this together.
We're putting the live in Covenant Live.
Oh, this one's missing the warlord, and it's coming.
Oh,
So we have a problem.
It's getting mailed to you?
Yeah. We've immediately gone off the ledge, but otherwise,
Otherwise, we could play a game of Warlord, man.
oh sweet God.
All right, so option 2 was going to be take the star decks from last week and crack some packs to throw in.
Just throw in there.
What are
All
these
right.
expansion decks?
Those
Is
are all
this the
4E.
LCG format?
That's the 4th
4E
edition
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
And then, I mean, I've got some Warlords here.
And then also Zach has some Overlords. If someone wants to run maybe a star deck.
right.
I think that's a step. I mean, we could play this deck that we have here. I think it's a deck I can look at the list and verify.
I can draw
against an Overlord.
I've got the Overlord in the database. We can print it.
Print it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a printer?
Yeah.
You're connected to
That's
it?
weird. We're
How do you want to proceed? Why?
all right. Can you make a deck out of that thing?
Well, yeah, let me just verify.
See if you can make that deck. Deck build, but verify. I'll play one of these Warlords and just
The Overlord?
stomp you.
I would be okay with you playing an
Yeah,
Overlord.
I'm playing,
Okay.
I'm playing
And
Overlord.
you've got a
Working
little
itself
sheet there
out.
from Don. That's what that paper is.
Okay. Wow. Beautifully typed. Don, you're the greatest for doing this.
I have on good authority that Don is the man.
Don, I mean that you would even make it look typed is just awesome. I like it. This harkens back to a time when you had to care about things to do them.
There you go.
Sometimes it's too easy.
There you go. Let me get an overhead shot of that typed paper. If you can.
I don't know if people want to read. Do we want people to be able to read what he said to us?
Yeah,
there's a header on there.
He said really nice things to us. I mean, it's not bad. It's just feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Best regards, Don. Kind of reminds me of our father, Jonathan and I's father. We do not share.
Spoiler: we share a father.
Okay, for the event, player may shuffle a card and discard into his deck. One copy of Olavark the Quiet promo. Search Orm's deck for a character and put it into play. For each character time he's defeated, repeat this process. Search Orm's deck. What's Orm? Oh, the Orm. Okay, and put it into play. He's defeated. Oh my gosh! Really?
Oh,
Zach's
in trouble.
No, he's trying to forward backward one rank. For the event, has the text order. Spend the card of the one rank during the first month. Oh my gosh, Zach! Did you read this? Okay, hold on. Before you answer, I know you didn't. Listen to this. Listen to the Zaxxon rules, which I actually don't have here.
Who's that?
XAXXON.
Okay, that's good enough.
Zaxxon or Zaxxon. You ready for this? So imagine this is what's happening in real time, right?
Like you're just going to your local game store and playing this game.
For the Overlord event, so for the event, Zaxxon has the text order, spend a character within one rank. So you can just tap something in one rank. But during the first month, you can use this once per turn. During the second month, you can use it twice per turn. During the third month, you can use it 3 times per turn. If he defeated all comers during the previous event at that location, reduce the uses per turn by 1 to a minimum of 1. If he was defeated during the previous event, increase the uses per turn by 1.
That's awesome.
So as he gets beat, he gets better.
Gets harder
As
for the
he
next
gets better,
person.
he gets easier to beat.
So cool.
Wow. This one's too advanced for me. I'm going to look at this Ormaldast.
By the way, it was not in deck order, but it was in like card type order. So I do have all the cards to build this.
Okay, great. Great. We love it. Oh, it's got Brine Fiends in it. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, who are my openers? These all look like opening cards. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play the heck out of this, man. I've got Olavark in there. Let's go. You're done. Are these my cards?
No, that comes with me.
All right, what we're gonna do is a Warlord challenge. So, Jonathan, you can start the video here.
All right.
Well, look at this. I built 2 decks.
Really? Wait,
Well,
2 Warlords?
Minus the Warlord in this stack.
Oh, right.
But it's like everything that doesn't go in this stack goes in this stack.
Okay, Ormaldast is who I'm playing. Look at this. Just disgusting. Terrifying. Level 8. +9, +5, +1, so 3 swings there. 17 defense natural. Opposing characters may not target Ormaldast with action cards. Only swings. Has an order, spend a character in your army and target an unstunned character. Move the target forward or backward 1 rank. Here's something else you need to know. At the end of the turn, shuffle a card from my discard pile into my deck.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the game, search Orm's deck for a character, put it into play.
So you get a character
Right off the bat.
every...
That's just the beginning of the game. I get 1.
Gotcha.
Then, check this out. For each consecutive time Orm is defeated, repeat this process. So if last week Orm was defeated, I get to search and do 2 characters at the start of the next challenge, and then 3 at the start of the next one, and then 4 at the start of the next one.
Got you. That's what you were saying earlier.
That's clever.
All right, let me figure out my starting 5.
And then I'm given 2 copies of the card. I guess 1 to give to you if you win, and 1 to keep to run the challenge with.
So inevitably when I win, I'll get a copy of that card. Then I'll cash it in to play against Woodrow.
That's right. Yep. And then I'm sure there are good ideas here for what to use.
Okay, so let's work through this for a second. My Warlord is Adarami. Adarmi. So Free Kingdom's Warlord unique peasant. Adarmi can equip fighter and rogue items. First level characters in your army gain +2 attack, +2 AC. And then order once per turn, search your deck for a first level character without the monster trait, show it to the other players, and put it in your hand. Okay, cool. And she's got a 2/2/2 axe swing. And then I have a number of, I need some assistance. I have a lot of level, because of her ability, a lot of level 1 characters to choose from. Let me just make sure that's all of them. No, there's more. But wait. Jiminy crickets. I only have 2 level 2 characters, and it's 2 copies of Rosalie, so I assume that's who I start with. And she has an order once per turn. Did you find that one, John?
Yes. I'm getting notes from Woodrow here. Is that technically you start? Oh, never mind. You just crossed it all out. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Okay, sorry. Who are you looking for, Rosalie?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bring it around.
This is so cool.
Let me switch this to these penny sleeves. Is something else.
Go.
Woodrow was giving you notes.
Yeah, he was telling me about the typical starter on there, but I think
For here.
Then he crossed it all out, so I'm sure I'll get an update soon.
Okay. So Rosalie, one, I love this art. This is by Miguel Combra. Just a cool light on this one is great. Order once per turn, target a Free Kingdoms in your army of equal or lower level, which all the rest of my stuff's level 1. The target has an additional melee strike when he attacks until the end of turn. So I can basically, once a turn, spend an order to give something an extra melee attack, but it's got to be a level 1 that survives.
Okay, got it. I'll just find out as I go.
Yep, that's fine.
Because I'm going to wreck you.
Then I have to choose from these, and well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of choices here. Let me just look. This is a Spencer Latham. You were like, what's the point of this? He has a -1/-1.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets 2 strikes. And he's a
that's
level
why.
1.
Yeah, that's why. That's great.
And so you need to roll hot, but it's a thing that can happen. Hold the phone. Ooh, you'd like this guy. Kun Jacob ignores astral and ethereal traits during melee strikes.
That's good.
Yeah. Brother Domini, I've seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. What makes something a fighter? This glove?
The glove.
The gauntlet? Well, he's got to start in play for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. There's got to be a particular starting 5 here, though. Help!
Do you want to know?
Just want to figure it out.
Does Woodrow have a recommendation?
Artemy. Second row is Aroch Knight, Aroch Knights, and Rosalie. And then Lear Militia for your top 3.
3 Lear Militia.
That if you
Lear
wanted to be
Militia.
more aggressive, you would change your top 3 to Spencer Latham, Brother Dormini.
All right, I'm going to start with the Lear Militia just for game 1.
Okay.
And then we might go with a more aggressive path. I think. You said it was Rosalie and who in level 2?
Rosalie and... you don't have a knight. It's a double Rosalie. Double Rosalie on the flip.
So simple. 3... the sound of...
It's the sound of a million pennies crying out in darkness. You got D20s for us?
Oh, yeah, dog. I did bring that.
Dude, it's so modular, too. Look how easy it is. Like, we don't even need all the screen. Normally, like Sorcery, we got to zoom out a million times.
Is this box relevant?
It was our dice rolling box, but we don't necessarily need it.
Well, we have more space now, so let's just get rid of this thing.
Yeah, let's just roll them bones.
Somewhere in this place is an old-timey Moncon
And
dice roll.
by next week, I'm going to upgrade these into not penny sleeves, and I'll sleeve those things too.
All right.
But we're really 90s-ing now, or 2000s-ing. Oh,
19, you're done, bun.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh. 19 in some universe. See? If you're
In a universe where the 6 is upside down and flipped to the other side
if
of
you're
the
looking at it in a rear view mirror. Oh man.
That's the old rear view 19 there. I like that. Yeah, I see this card. Okay, touch your card.
No.
Equal lower level of the target additional melee. Okay, understood.
How many do we draw?
5. Always 5.
Yeah.
All right, get ready for some Yahtzee. All right, I'm the Overlord. If you beat me, you get the thing.
Oh, and there is no mulligan. Is that right?
That's right. And at the beginning of the game, search Orm's deck for a character and put it into play.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, I'll do that.
Morn Imp. Spend order, perform a +1 range strike. Okay. What are these little... Oh, another one of those. Okay. Brine Fiend. Hey. Just a fiend.
Yeah, 2 hit points.
Boom.
That's what that is.
All right. Then we have Thunic Wyvern. And like a proper wyvern, has 4 legs. Maze Rogue, action cards, order once per turn, move forward or backward a rank. That seems pretty
No
good.
spend, no nothing. Just can do that.
And then we got a Minor Dragonkin. Ooh. And unequip items.
It can kill items, basically.
Let me just take a peep at this guy.
Yeah, it's not important.
Orm Algast. He looks friendly. Can't target him with action cards. 5 health. Oh, Lord.
So these are the guys that you would challenge after you win the tournament.
You have to have a deck that wins the tournament,
Yeah.
and then use the same deck to challenge the tournament organizer who's using this monstrosity.
Are we ready?
I'm going to get destroyed. But yes, we're ready.
All right, Mornimp, +1 range strike here into your Rosa Leaf.
Well, you can't do that because my ability says... I'm just kidding.
You're at 13, I'm at +1.
You need a 12.
It's got to be possible, right? How about a 13?
Son of a gun. Okay.
Is that the minor dragonkin there?
No, that was the Mornimp.
Okay. I haven't got that one up yet. Well, I got different art on my graphics.
Okay.
Oh, I did it wrong. No.
Oh, wow. Their ability is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my level 1 characters get +2 attack, +2 AC
That's great.
from my Warlord's ability.
Okay.
So then I'm going to attack with one of these on this guy.
Wait, all of your level 1 characters?
Yeah, it says first level characters in your army gain +2 attack, +2 AC.
Sweet.
So I will attack this guy at +3.
Okay.
So I need a 7.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Over to you.
Mornimp's going to do an attack back in there.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, thank the Lord. Okay. Now there's less pressure to do things. What's is there a charisma stat anywhere?
No.
Okay.
It'd be a DC 20 plus skill, probably if it's like a charisma check, I'd imagine.
DC 20. Okay, okay. Oh. 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 Hold on. Interesting. Okie dokie. Well, ooh, risky. I will, once per turn order, target a 3 kingdoms in your army of equal or lower level. The target has an additional melee strike when he attacks until the end of turn. So I'll target here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's your turn because I took my turn.
Okay.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I'm going to play Cunning Shot because this Thunic Wyvern may use rogue action cards. It is a rogue action card. Perform a +4 ranged strike. Actually, I'm gonna do it on the minor dragonkin. 4+4 range strike. Spin the target and move him forward 1 rank instead of wounding him. I guess I can't do that, can I? Forward 1 rank. Oh, so you can't like come here, right?
I don't think I can unless I have.
Unless you have stealth. So I probably can't do that. I was trying to spin that guy so that you wouldn't get your bonus. Because man, your alarm militia are like good. What the heck?
You're about
I built it.
You're about to get assigned Warlord today, Zach.
I knew what was
So
in
this
the
is
deck
13
when
AC right here?
Yes, this is AC.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not? Okay, yeah, it is. Oh, so my person that died was actually.
It's only level 1.
Oh,
So I'd have to roll a 13 on a d20.
easy. A guy like you, not even a task.
In this
I won't
economy,
talk about here. Which one? Whatever one gets the bonus. Let's try.
Yeah, no. All right, we're looking for you to get a 12 or less for the hero. Son of a. Okay. All right. Cool. Oh wait, before he dies, spend react. Shuffle in my deck. Search my deck for a level 1 non-Lear militia free kingdom. Show it to my opponent. Put it in my hand. So he's gonna shuffle in, and we're gonna get a level 1. I'm just gonna get the first one we find. Not true. I know exactly what I'm getting. We're getting a Brother Domini.
oh, nice.
You're going down, Wooly. I'm just gonna wait you out.
Good idea.
Would you like to cut?
No.
Okay, cool. Shake. Oh man, it's so good. This deck is so good.
It does seem pretty good, yeah.
And we're not done yet. I'm gonna play. Jacob ignores the astral and ethereal traits, but otherwise it's just currently a 4/12 character.
Just +2, just right off the bones there.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Okay?
I see why we would start Lear Militia, because if you kill them, I just go get whatever I want.
Yeah.
Perfect for the moment.
So they're just kind of like a card advantage body. They're also good. +111 with your bonuses from Dharma.
A 3/13, yeah.
That's pretty sick, man.
I built it myself.
It's pretty sick.
Like I said, I knew every card in this deck going into it.
And you've already used your double attack thing, so I don't need to worry about that yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's roll them. Brian Fiend here on Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. Looking for
Need a 12.
12?
9.
Got him. All right. Over to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to get wild. So an item that was a level 7 could be played here. Correct.
5+3.
Yeah.
You play level 8.
So I'm going to play the Alliance Standard.
No, that's a reader.
Free Kingdoms Warlord only, and that's not that bad. Order, spin the standard, make a charisma check, and this has charisma +5.
Mm-hmm.
If successful, target another Free Kingdoms character who gains a bonus attack, AC, and skill equal to this character's level.
Nice.
So I spin that. If I succeed at a DC 20 check with a +5, then something else gets a +5 situation.
Got it. Okay. Want to talk about me? Let's play all of our quiet back here in rank 3. Gain a class and faction permanently. I'm going to gain the mercenary rogue. And then react after a character of the same faction, so rogue, or mercenary I should say, is targeted by an action, not a strike. Kill Olivart, cancel it. So any mercenary I can cancel an action you use against it.
All right. I'm going to play Ryan Mornington.
The old swarm deck, huh?
React after target character is hit with a melee strike by Ryan. The target cannot perform reacts until the end of turn. He's a pirate too. This game has pirates.
This game has pirates. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go. I kind of feel like it's time. Order spinning character in your army and target an unstunned character. Move the target forward or backward 1 rank. That's just amazing.
Someone's saying the standard gives my character the charisma feat.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's that mean?
You just got to do a charisma check.
Same like any other feat.
But what's it do?
There is look up what charisma does naturally, too, aside from what's on the standard. I think it's probably like you charm somebody or something. This is an interesting little deck we've got here. Deidre Prince.
1 life. Okay.
After a character rolls a critical success or failure, it's no longer considered a critical success or failure
Okay.
as a react. It would still be a 1 or a 20, but it wouldn't get over or under numbers.
Jacob is going to swing there.
Okay.
So I'm at +4.
4 on 11.
Need a 7.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord has betrayed me. All right. Over to you.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Charisma react. Once per turn, after another character you control within 1 rank makes a die roll, succeed with a charisma check to force that character to re-roll the die. Okay.
Let's go +1 into what? 14 here or 13 here?
And that lets me fish someone out, so I don't know if that's...
Yeah. And man, my numbers is no good. What happened to my numbers?
Yeah, you're supposed to be a Overlord god.
Yeah, what is this? This is a
Puny.
Garbo. Well, let's use it. Let's swing into that thing. 14, right? Stranger things have happened.
Looking for a 13?
20.
That'll do it.
All right.
Nailed it.
Your numbers are looking pretty good to me. I'm going to play a Lenora.
Man, what is this? You're like a vomit deck. You're like a freaking trash man over here. You're just putting out these...
Look at you. You got more in your power than I do.
Yeah, it's true. It's just because I'm rolling well. Nobody wants to commit. I don't want to commit yet, you know?
I do, indeed.
I don't want to commit at all, in fact. I'll send Elbark up here.
Okay. I'm going to play Brother Domini. So while he's in the rank with a fighter, all characters in this rank have +3 attack, +3 AC.
While he's what?
While he's in a rank with a fighter, everyone in that row has +3, +3.
These are fighters?
Those are all the gauntlets are
All
fighters.
gauntlets. That's a rogue.
Yeah.
That's a cleric.
But all characters have it. It just has to be in there with a fighter. So you have to remove all the fighters.
Yeah.
Or him. You
That
just get rid
is
of
so
him.
good. What is wrong with you? I thought, do you have the Overlord deck?
I am the Overlord.
Look at me.
What the heck is this? Let's play Shadow of Jealousy here on Orm. Name a class, rogue. After this rogue is targeted, oh no, not rogue, fighter. Cleric? I don't know, what's worse? Probably fighter. I don't know what's in your deck. After I'm targeted by a fighter, redirect to an adjacent character.
That's going to be annoying. Mm-hmm. That's a cool piece of art right there.
That's a different one.
I know, but I just can't. I'm distracted by it. Shadow of Lies. Evil paladins exist?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend this order on Lenora. Shake, shake. Can you hand me another die? Until the end of turn, she gets an additional +0. Yeah. She gets an additional +0 melee attack. So she's got 2 +0 melee attacks.
That's your order there.
Yeah.
Okay. Shake, shake.
Got him. We're in.
You get 2 attacks, huh?
With this thing on my next
That's
go.
pretty cool.
And then she's currently at +5.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, you considered this. Let's. I don't know. I don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
Okay, I need to read this. Spend a character, target an unstunned character, move it forward or backward 1 rank. So that's good. So I'm going to use this order from Ormalgast. I'm going to spend a character in my army, target an unstunned character, and I'm going to move it forward or backward 1 rank. Let's push this one back 1 rank.
'Tis annoying. Oh, hold on. Say it again.
From the top.
I'm going to target this with an ability.
Would you say this is an action?
No.
What is an action?
I think it's an action card.
Oh,
It says action on it. Yeah.
Boo.
It might be an action. I don't know. Or it's an ability.
It's an order. It's an order.
It's an order. It's an
What's the name of the card you're ordering from?
Orm Algast.
Okay.
Okay. Mine?
Yeah.
Boo. Liar Militia is going to attack one of these Mornips.
Okay.
And I'm at +5, so I'm at 6 total. You're at 10, I need a 4.
Right, because brother.
Yeah. Got him.
Boom.
Pick me, my lord.
Okay. Love that. And then, do I have a react? I think I have a special react here. For the event, at the end of the turn, I shuffle something from discard into deck, so it always stays around. I'm going to use this order here. Once per turn, move forward or backward a rank.
All right.
I'm dragon in the...
Here comes Brother Domini.
Dragon in the...
Because, well, technically, he could, like, move back a rank, right?
Yeah, you could.
And run and hide. Do you have a range over here?
Nope.
But I think I just want to kill you.
Yep, I think so.
We're going to take my chance.
Is this other stuff?
Oh.
Ah!
So he's +5.
Yeah.
Attacking a 13, so
Yeah.
we need an 8 for the game. Ah! I've been betrayed! All right.
Wow.
Just fail when you
You're
do
bad
this
at
thing.
this, man.
I am so bad.
You are very bad at this. Okay.
It's not my week.
So the chat is saying that basically anything is actually an action. Some cards say action card if they want to narrate.
Oh, did you want to cancel that a long time ago?
Well,
Can you cancel the spin backwards move?
I have a thing that says spend, react. After a character performs an action, spend that character. Spend, react. After a character pays the cost of an action, cancel the action.
And who has to spin react to do that? Who can cast that? Does that have a level on it?
Anybody?
Level 1.
Blank. It's
So you
called
can-
exhaustion.
After a character performs an action, spin the character.
It's the second one.
After a spent character pays the cost of an action.
Oh, but you're not spent.
I'm not spent, no. So it's my go?
Yeah. Sure enough.
I'm just going to swing.
Oh, yeah.
Brother Domini.
Yep. I'm at 13.
Wait, he gets +3 to himself?
Oh, yeah. I'm at 16.
No.
An impenetrable bow.
What is that about? How do you do that?
Just Free Kingdom Spider stuff, I guess.
All right, I'm going to do it. No, I can't do it because I'm not the right level. I got to be level. I got to get my guy up here. Let's move him up. Let's move him up. I'm just going to move him up. No, let's do a strike. Let's just get it over with. I don't know. You're going to play. No, you can't play anything. I'm going to move him up.
He's a cheater. You know what a card
Move
is.
him up. Move him up. Move him up.
All right. I'm going to use my Alliance Standard. We're going to make a D20 check. DC 20 check. I'm at +5. If I succeed, I'm going to give someone a +5 bonus for the round on their attack, defense, and skill. So looking for a 15. Got it. We're going to give him +5 for the round. Just a little protection.
Got it.
Can't let him go, you know? So now he's at 21. Only a critical success could succeed. Still 5% chance. I mean, that's basically done.
I'm going to target using Orm's ability and send this back 1 rank.
Okay. Mine? I'm going to use this order on Adarami. Once per turn, search your deck for a first level character without the monster trait. Show it to the other player and put it into your hand.
Okay. It's a freaking swarm, man. It's a potato over here.
We've got a factory.
Oh yes, I can. That's a great thing to do, Pedro. Thank you. Zach has an advantage on the first game.
I don't know if I have a...
You forget about the things you can do with these abilities.
I'm going to get a Spencer Latham. Put in my hand. Over to you.
Pass.
I'm gonna play him here.
You got it. Pass. I'm gonna pass for the rest of the stuff.
I had a feeling. I'm +2/+2 with -1/-1, so I'm really a +1/+1. We're gonna strike, and we're gonna start with this thing.
You got it.
The wyvern. So I'm looking for a 12. Got him.
Boom.
And then next we'll do. What's this thing do? We'll just go with this Morno. So I'm at 1/1. I need a 9. Got him.
Boom.
And then over to you.
Pass.
Let's move here.
You got it. Pass.
Let's go ahead and move up so that if I don't have a fall forward situation
Pass.
in front of me. Pass.
All right. I see more of the game than I did previously.
All right, let's read these cards.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
reading. Great. What? Wow. Okay.
What'd you say?
That woke you right up.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Initiative?
Yep. To the die.
13.
10.
Okay. There's so many things to be done.
Yep. But you got to do the one. It's beautiful. You have to choose one thing to do. You just simplify it down. You just get one. And almost always it feels like using your row 1 stuff before they die is the thing to be doing.
I'm going to spend a character in my army to move an unstunned character forward or backward.
Oh, sweet God. Uh-oh.
Trouble.
Mine?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's a 17 defense. If I hit him 5 times, I win. I can't target him with cards.
Action cards.
But I can target him with attacks.
Yes.
And you have a +9, +5, +1 inbound.
Yeah.
And I have 1 action. 1 action. Man, I wish I had gone first. It would be beautiful. Oh, well, I think the thing to do is quite simple. Brother Domini coming in to play.
Protect.
And hope you can't kill him. I'm going to do this a little. To get on the screen.
You have anything that moves stuff around on the board?
about?
Like anything that's like spin an order, move a thing?
No.
Right. I'm going to exhaust here with Orin's ability to move you back.
Hold on. Is that an action?
It's an action.
So if I had a... Just asking for a friend. Spend react after a spent character pays the cost of an action, cancel the action.
It's not spent.
It looks spent.
This character is performing an action.
To spend the other thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
One day you'll use that card.
I will. It just feels like it was meant for this moment.
Chat says it is one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a bamboozler.
To be seen. Okay.
You've not used these, right?
Well,
Wake in the morning.
I need another brother.
Domini. I was supposed to shuffle something back into my deck too.
All right, Pedro with the hot tip here. Does this matter to you?
You can use the exhaustion to spend the action.
Oh, it is
user.
the busted card. Check this out. Spend react after a character performs an action. Spend that character.
Spend react.
So I can spend this.
Yeah, except it can't be targeted.
That's right.
But you normally could.
That would be normally just bustedly good.
So something uses an action and then you can
Yeah, okay.
tap it down. Very nice.
Well, I'm just going to swing with Spencer at +1/+1. And I mean, what? Am I playing the long game or the short game, you know?
Yeah, no. It's the Overlord battle, baby.
I will... Let's target here. Die to reprints first.
Okay.
So I'm at +1, you're at an A11, so I need a 10. Missed. We'll try it again. Got it.
Okay. Let's go ahead and swing here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I'm targeted by a melee range strike by a fighter, I can redirect it to an adjacent character. So this one is what, just know that. So if you swing with one of these fighters, I can redirect it.
Yeah.
All right, so the +9 will start here.
All right. I'm at 14. Need a 5.
11.
Swooshed.
We got the +5. Let's put it on, I don't know, play the odds, I guess. +5 on the militia. On a 13. Is that an 8? Missed. And then let's do a +1, let's go here.
On a 12.
Better math than not. Miss.
Okay. I'll swing it on a 4 here.
On a Brine Fiend.
So I need a 4. Got a 7.
Take
One wound. Over to you.
Wounded Brine Fiend onto a Liar Militia.
They're so good.
Miss.
All right. The other, well, I guess it doesn't matter. The other one. I'll swing again at this same one at a +3. So I need a 5. Got it.
Ba-dum-da-dum.
And is your thing where you go to free thing only at the start of the game?
Mm-hmm. Brine Fiend here.
Okay.
I'm out of 20. He brined you
He's going to shuffle in.
like a jar of pickles.
And... I guess.
This feels like the Overlord deck.
This is crazy.
It's like the numbers are kind of nuts. What's up with that? Is that normal?
Yeah, I wonder if... What year are these cards from? 2006, 2003. I wonder how early this Overlord came out compared to the power level of constructed across 4,000 cards.
That's a good question.
Woodrow and Josh talked a lot about draw being, went way too heavy in the draw early on. So I wonder if the militia is one of the early on cards because it's replacing itself, which is kind of a
Oh, the Liar Militia. Let me see. 2006.
2006. Whew.
I'm gonna get.
Golden days.
I mean, you can just create an
This is 2006.
unreal scenario, like another Brother Domine. That's what I get. Something.
It's one or more. They at least accounted for that. So you can't have doubles.
Oh, I was just like, how do you even possibly? We'll get another Lenora then.
Okay. And they go just in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's your action.
Yeah. I'll play this here.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I still have to kill you somehow.
Yeah, you gotta kill me. Yeah, 17.
5 life, 17.
Let's play Mudasi's Fire there. It's ethereal, which means I think you have to do evens to hit.
One is even, one is odds.
Yeah. Is ethereal even, Jonathan, or odds? How many?
Ooh, I'll look it up. So Woodrow is confirming here that Zach is playing in all of the cards constructed Tier 1 deck, and Steven is playing an Overlord that was released into a specific rotating format.
So
Zach technically has the advantage. But
so Pedro is saying here that this is like the checkpoint deck. If you can't beat this, you don't have a constructed Ancients deck. This is the deck you have to be able to beat. I like that.
That's good. I'm glad that we actually have that.
That's good to know.
And yeah, when this enters play,
Don't you do it.
I'm gonna play Outmatched, and it says after target opposing character enters play in the front rank or moves into the front rank, if this fighter is in the front rank, perform a melee strike against the target. So
Very nice.
I'll have this fighter do it.
So ignore ethereal. You knew that when you chose that, right?
Yeah,
Come on. Yeah.
This fighter, this here.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm at +4, tier 4. Anything but a 1. Got him.
Pretty good.
And that was your action. So then now it's my turn.
Yeah.
So Ethereal and Astral are both planar and both miss on odds.
Okay.
So you don't need to keep track.
So evens hit the keywords. Got it.
Evens hit.
I'm going to use the order to give her an extra strike. Here, over to you.
Okay. Tank Olivark up here, maybe, I guess. See what happens. I don't like the idea. I could also just like spin and shoot. I wonder. Okay.
I am expecting to get the Warlord for the other deck, like any day.
Cool. See you next week.
So we could turn it back. We're not gonna, dude. We'll just roll up here.
Okay. I will use Lenora.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You can do
Fine.
whatever
That's
you need
fine.
to
It's
do.
fine.
She has 2+0 attacks that are +2 from this thing. So +2/+2, and we'll go on the Brine Fiend.
On the
So I need a 6. Hit 1.
Hit 1.
Do it again. Hit 2.
You got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. And okay. I'll pass.
Yeah. We will play Ryan Mornington. React after a target character is hit with a melee strike by Ryan. The target cannot perform reacts till the end of turn.
Okay.
He's the pirate from earlier.
Okay.
Thor's rightly saying next Monday is Memorial Day. Will there be a stream? No. There will not.
We'll be out.
I didn't connect those dots myself.
Me neither. I had to look at the calendar last night to see when Memorial Day was, and then I forgot about it this morning.
Yeah.
Pass.
Swing on this thing. Clean him up.
2 wounds. That matters to you.
Yeah. I'm just hoping to clear your board and then send 1,000 dice at him and maybe get lucky.
That's a good idea.
Anyways, +3, so I need 11. Got him.
Got it. Pass.
Oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to use this order. Once per turn, search my deck for a first level character without the monster trait. You know it. You love it. We're going to get a Spencer Latham.
Latham, huh?
Oh, Latham. Over to you. This deck is wild.
Spencer Latham.
I honestly thought it would be like no contest for the Overlord.
Pass.
We're going to play Spencer.
You got it.
Yeah, it's good to know this is the benchmark.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is wild. Because we're just getting warmed up too. Are you passing again?
Yeah.
I'm going to use Rosalie.
I got all cards I can't play.
This gets an additional melee strike this turn.
Okay.
Are you passing?
Yeah.
I'm going to use my standard. Rolling a d20, need a 15. Failed. Wah, wah. I assume you're passing.
Yes.
All right. It has 3+1 strikes, so we'll start here. I'm looking for a 13. Missed. Second one. Missed. Third one. Got it.
Okay. Pass again there.
I will also pass.
Ah.
And let's just.
Yeah, I'm with that, Pedro. I think that's kind of the win condition.
Do some scorpion action.
Yeah. Let me get some. Figure out what I'm supposed to. Item. Yeah, target spending in your turn. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
I love this art. Oh, it's Jason Engel.
Matter.
He's I think at this point I can just safely say Jason's my favorite Warlord artist. The card is Sir Thomas of Selenar, in case you want to pop it.
Cool.
He's the one that did the gosh, what is the name of that character that I used in the 4-player game? The like kind of spirit-looking character leaning over the edge doing this.
Vactus?
No, it was in the 4-player game. He's like blue. He's like he almost looks. He's not quite Nazgul, but he's.
I haven't delved into the cards yet. Let me lie now.
Okay, I see. I think I see how this guy's supposed to.
Let me just pull it up.
He's supposed to lure your warlord to the front and then kill him. It's like there's some of those in like War Machine. Some of the characters that want to assassinate you rather than kill your army. That's one of these characters.
I was literally last turn thinking I should maybe just move my warlord to the back.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because there's one way I really lose here. Let me find that card I was talking about. It was on this Kickstarter at some point. Dream.
Tersoth. Terso. Oh, I can do that. That's my job.
What's Tersoth?
That's you. Hold on.
That wasn't the. Maybe he also did that, but there was Gosh, what is the name of that card? Shadow Reaver. Shadow Reaver. Pull up Shadow Reaver. This is one of my favorite pieces in the game. I just am very drawn to it. It's not that card.
Here we go.
Shadow Reaver, huh?
Boom.
Yeah, you'll be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you
I mean, look at that.
Oh, yeah, great.
The lighting on that.
Talk about Spawn.
Mhm.
You know?
I just like
Todd
that.
McFarlane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the cave. It's looking.
That's awesome.
Anyways, he did the art for this card.
Astra says even strikes miss. What's that? I thought it was
So,
No, evens.
yes.
Oh, they merged it into one.
Let me
and
tell you, they merged them into one. So they decided it was silly to keep track of.
It was too much.
And they
Got
became
it.
so astral and ethereal became planar. Both became planar, and planar became miss on odds.
Oh, initiative?
Yeah. Sure.
19.
18. We're close.
Oh. We're going to play this little game again, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to tap it. I'm going to move this guy up.
Okay.
It's so cold in here.
It is so cold.
Air conditioning be running.
I'm gonna spin here to move this here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I can just spin to move back,
Mhm.
but then you're going to do it again. I see. I should have moved back last round. Should I have not? Yeah, we'll attempt to move back here.
Okay.
Because you can just kill me. That's how that works.
Yeah. So I'll play Shadow here.
What's that do?
Spin order. Target an opposing warlord. The next die roll the target's controller makes this turn is a critical failure. Your next die roll is a critical failure.
My next die roll?
Yours would fail, and then my next one would
Oh,
fail.
you spend?
Once I spin and target you.
Okay. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, no. Okay. We're going to attack you with Spencer. He gets 2 attacks, and he's got +5/+5. So he's really a +4/+4. And I'm looking for a 13 because you're at 17, right?
I'm at 17, yeah.
All right, we're going to try it twice. 13 twice, 13 twice. 20.
Okay, that'll hit.
I'm just going to put this guy here.
Yeah, sure.
You have some, what does this thing do?
I can redirect it, but
because
there's
you don't
nobody
have it.
here.
Alright.
They're all gone.
Trying again. Looking for a 13.
They're all dead.
Missed. All right. They've been destroyed. All right, over to you.
All right, I'm going to spin here and move your warlord up.
Check out this comment when you get a chance.
James Bacon, what's up, James? Watching you play made me want to dig through some old TCG stuff. I legit just found a completely unused battle box with my Gen Con stuff from the early aughts. The TCG miracle.
That is insane.
Isn't it?
Truly.
That's amazing.
Okay. We'll do it again. Spencer number 2.
What's Spencer doing?
Just 2 attacks at +4.
Okay.
So looking for 13. 1.
Got it.
2. Oh! Drat. Over to you.
Did he get you once, Steven? I thought he missed twice.
Last time, right?
Yeah, once last time. Yeah.
We're 3 wounds away. Then we get the champagne out.
All right, let's swing.
It's the first time we're playing against them.
Let's swing here at your Warlord.
So here's a question for people that know better. Is this deck like genuine tier 1 ancients? Because it...
Yes. This is the this is the deck.
Yeah, that's
You gotta beat.
kind of fascinating to see because this is actually less... It's good. It's clearly good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's less like...
Top row.
Impenetrable wall
Mm-hmm.
level. Like I just figured tier 1 ancients would be like, I won on turn 1. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I backstab.
Mm-hmm.
Before the stroke makes a melee circle, if the opponent is spent, +5 attack for this strike, and it inflicts an additional wound if it hits.
I think that's an uh-oh.
So you're +5,
+14 total here.
and this is an action.
It's a react
But
action.
it's an action. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
After a spent. And it's spent.
Yes, but I cannot be targeted by action cards.
Still.
Dang it. All right, so wait, what's the stakes here? You're plus what? You're +5?
Get the whiteboard out.
+14.
Yes.
So you need anything but a 1.
Is
To
that
hit.
is that accurate? I don't know.
Well, I'm at 15. Well, actually, no.
Is this for minions or that's other fighters, which you're not, it looks like. Is that right? Or all characters? All characters.
All characters in the rank. So +3,
So you're 18 hit points, I'm at +14.
18 AC.
Yeah. So you
And
need
you're-
4 higher.
Yeah, 4 higher on the first one.
Yeah, that's the important one.
And is it +5 for all of them? Or just
Yeah,
the first
the
strike?
strike. First strike, yeah.
And it's 2 wounds if it hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I need you to get...
No, you need me to hit you.
Just roll a 1. I don't know if I'm going to
4,
do that.
man.
So.
4.
A 4 misses?
4 hits.
Okay, so a 3. My lucky number 3. Take 2. Okay.
Second strike at a +5 on an 18.
So you need a 13.
That's right.
Okay, lucky number 3 showed up too
Plus
late.
1 on an 18, need a 17 or higher.
Okay. All right. We're alive. Somehow. Palpatine is returned. And now I'm looking for love. I don't think have I done this turn?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
Sure. I will give her an extra melee strike this turn.
That's your order.
Yeah.
Extra melee attack. So you'd have 2 swings.
Yeah. I felt so good for a second.
2.
I don't feel... I mean, we'll see what he does. I just hope he doesn't have someone to drop in the first row and get me.
2 swings.
I'm saving that 2-swinger for your... Anything you play down, though. You know what I mean?
And you've got... Is this guy that... This is why I would never play Ancients. Because, like, what are all your... You got 20 things in the front row.
Yeah, so it's just... This is a guy that ignores Astral and Ethereal. This is the guy
relevant.
that goes to get a person. This doesn't really matter. Just bodies.
It's even the classic eye formation.
Yeah, dude, I like that strong eye.
Simple. Straightforward.
Big fan. So if I do here, you just kill it, and then we've wasted time. I'm going to attach Angel Tears here. It gives me an order, discard a card, perform a +1 range strike, unlimited. Now, that is one that you can cancel with that card in your hand, because I'm spent and I'm using an action. But
how many cards are left?
2,
So you could do 2 ranged attacks.
potentially.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Let's just get while the getting's good. I'm gonna swing you twice at +5.
I have a reaction.
Okay.
Alert. After this rogue is targeted by a melee or ranged strike, succeed with perception to ready. My perception is a DC 20. I'm at +13, so I need a 7 or higher. On the money. Proceed with your strikes, please, sir.
Okay, so I get 2 strikes. And then I need you to miss 3 times. Okay. I'm at 5. I need a 12. 1. I'm going to get 4 damage. It's going to be obnoxious. Okay. Didn't hit.
Let's try for it. +9 on an 18.
So you need a 9.
Send you back home crying.
Missed. Okay. Needs a 13. Missed. Needs a 17. Steven's face. All right. 1 card in hand, he says.
Yep.
All right. We'll just swing with Ryan. He's at a 6, so I need a 11.
That's right.
Missed.
You got Jacobs over there, huh?
Where?
Yeah, I know exactly. He's a guy.
This guy and the liar. Don't trust him.
I'll just pass.
Let's use Rosalie to give him an extra strike.
Okay.
That's not even Spendor. That's just once per turn.
Ugh. Gross. Pass.
All right.
You can just
Use
roll
my action to
Warlord.
go get a level 1.
These are the kinds of cards that should not exist in the game of Warlord.
That's right.
You know what? It's always in the searching. It's in the searching and the searching.
Tutoring does.
It's the tutoring.
Yeah.
Talk to Lucas Litzinger about that. He's got a lot of great ideas to not follow.
His own advice.
Just lobbing the mortars out.
I think we're just deep enough into the stream that
You're going to have 9 people in your front row, Zach. This is obnoxious.
But only one Warlord.
Only one Warlord, that's right. And I'm going to win the initiative. You're going to miss everything. I'm going to win the initiative roll. And then you're done for, buddy.
all right. I took my order.
Pass.
I'm gonna use the banner. Target the guy with 2 strikes. Got it.
Ah, he's inspired. +5/+5 is a thrilling conclusion, Mr. Jacobs.
So he's actually a +10 basically.
10?
Well, it's because it's +2,
2, 3,
+2,
and
+3,
5.
3,
Ugh.
+5. Yeah.
Disgusting. Pass.
Okay. I'm gonna play another Jacob over here.
Pass again.
I'm swinging with this Jacob
Okay.
at 7, so I'm looking for a 10.
He's a 5. He's +5 too as well.
It's because of this thing and then the dominant.
It's everybody on that thing?
No,
It's
no,
not just
no,
one
no, no,
person?
no. It's just plus. It's +5.
Plus
not,
5.
Not +10. He's +5. So he
Plus
goes
5.
up to a 7.
Right on.
So then we're looking for a 10.
Wait, he's at +5? How's he looking for +5?
Dominate is +3, +3.
Mm-hmm.
And then my static ability is +2, +2. To everything is level 1. That's the Warlord.
So he's +7 total?
Yeah.
Oh. So that's 1 damage?
That's 1 damage, yeah.
That's
You still
19
got your
total.
angel tears, right, Steven? You could.
He's just going to cancel it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. My win condition is him missing all these strikes.
So this guy is +5, +5. And then also +5 from this thing.
It feels like Lord of the Rings TCG suddenly.
There's a lot of tracking. It's actually...
It's not too bad.
The main thing, at least in the way this deck is built, is it just applies to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings would have been like +2 to all your dwarves. This is like +2 to all your dwarves that cost 2 or more.
Playing that.
Is that a thing you can redirect to?
Yes.
And it's a... I see. Okay.
But you see, you're swinging it with Jacobs
And then kill it.
because it ignores Astral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do it. We're
That's what
gonna
I
swing
was trying to not allow for you to do.
Yeah.
You can roll 1.
Anything but a 1. Got it. My second strike is I'm at 12. You're at 17. I need a 5. I'm gonna miss this so hard.
You're gonna miss it so hard, dude. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Can you imagine you're trying to play for the Warlord? Everything's on the line. It's like a Dragon Lord or something. Everyone's watching. It's like, I've got myself. I only need a 5, and I get this thing.
And then
you know you got a 25% chancer.
Then you brick house.
Less than 20%.
So I need a 5 or better. It's a 20% chance.
You want to take a time
Oogly
out?
boogly. Oogly boogly.
It's like I go this time out.
Let's ice the kicker on this one.
All right, I'm not even gonna look. I looked.
Nailed it. 6.
So this is the real Overlord deck. Now I assume. What did you?
Yeah. So if I were playing that again, your entire game plan is use these spend abilities to get Warlord up and their Warlord up.
Untrap them.
And then like the backstab cards and stuff do extra damage and then stand up when you're targeted. And I think you're supposed to unload on their Warlord.
Yeah. Because you could have drug me forward faster. Because you have that ability and all these things out. And like, instead of even caring about killing my stuff, you're just like, draw me in and start. Because you would easily kill me.
Unless you have deck like cards that allow you to move backwards for free, like steeds and mounts and that kind of thing would be a real problem because I just move you up and then you'd move yourself back and then I'd be like, if I can't get you up here. And
I did have this card in my hand called Winter Warfare.
Yeah, they were.
What's that do?
It's a spend order and it says until the end of turn, characters may not move unless maneuvering or falling to correct illegal ranks. Ready characters falling forward become stunned. Spent characters falling forward become stunned if not already and suffer a wound. But I could basically spend
that's smart.
To then not let you pull me forward.
That's really smart.
But if you win initiative, I can't stop you. And then I have to like spend to do this. But like if you keep winning initiative, you'll drop me down to here. And I'll be stuck.
That's amazing.
Where's your winter card again, Zach?
Winter Warfare.
Here in the room with us.
It is. It looks like this.
Got it.
Yeah, there it is.
And then check this out. Look at it. So you see exactly how this is supposed to happen. Okay. So we've got Cunning Shot in the deck, which is perform a range strike. If it hits, spin and move forward the target instead of wounding. So if I'm on my front rank, I can swing. I can hit your Warlord in the second rank, spin it and move it forward. So it's trying to get you to come forward. It's got Falter Stones. Check this card out. After a ready character moves without spending. So like if I move your Warlord up without spin, because it doesn't spin to move, remove a charge and spin that character.
That's amazing.
So you're moving them
and you got 3 charges on that thing. That's cool.
Move is 1. Look at this crazy card. Before another character in this army performs an order until the end of the turn, this rogue, so your Warlord, gains. After another character performs an order, you perform an order.
So you could like, if I order, you could order me, move me forward. Your turn, order me, move me forward. Now I'm in the front row.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like, basically you get an extra order every time something else doesn't order. Destiny's Hand. Once per game, after an opponent rolls a critical failure, Destiny's Hand permanently gains +3 attack, +3 AC, and repost +5 repost, I believe, is after you're targeted by a melee strike. You get to strike back. Yeah.
That is disgusting. I also feel like I started with these Liar Militia, and I understand why you wouldn't, because I'm basically relying on you to attack these to go get other things.
Yeah.
But I think you ignore these guys.
Yeah, entirely.
Because you just kill them, and then I got a better thing.
Yeah. Yeah, one hundo. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
But that's great. Like you learn, you play it once, and then you're like, So there would be a real skill to knowing. You'd want to, before you brought it out, you'd want to look at the Overlord and be like, okay, what's my game plan?
Well,
I wonder if they gave you a primer with that.
I bet as well. I mean, I would be curious to know what the environment was like back then, but I can see a world where if I am running tournaments and I get this deck in, I'm like, hey, Steven, like, let's hang out, and like, I need to get good with this because we can't just let everyone win.
We can't let Tim win the Overlord
It
challenge.
needs to be hard for him to win. So then, like, you know, you're getting practice against it so that if you get there, but then, like, I'm practicing with it to get better against everyone else who will play against it.
And you should know what your players are playing. So then it's like, I know Zach's bringing that brother whatever deck, so
well, and
I'm
even
play against that this way.
Just as the tournament organizer, you would get to watch people play and know what they're up to and bring. And then if you are good with this, and they don't have any, the first time someone's playing against this, it's all brand.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that first week?
Never seen it yet.
And it's like not on the internet. It's just like, here's this new thing. And then I lose to it immediately. And then you're like, everyone starts scheming.
Yeah.
For the
Like,
next
okay,
week.
so it's like going to move my Warlord forward. So I'm going to bring a deck next week that's like my Warlord wants to be in the front rank anyway, and then I'm going to do a bunch of unspend me cards.
Yeah.
And then somehow try to win the tournament with that also. That's really good. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. It's a pleasure.
We will not stream next week.
We will not stream next week. Happy Memorial Day, or happy. Do you even say Happy Memorial Day? It's kind of not really a happy time, is it?
Yeah, technically not. I mean,
Memorial
it's a
of-
celebration of sacrifice.
Celebration
in
of-
some ways.
But it's not really happy.
Not really happy.
It's a thank you, grateful,
Yeah.
gratitude.
Have a grateful Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Thank you.
Well, and also
appropriate.
just any time off, of course, is good. I think.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be how much time's left on this Warlord Kickstarter?
20 days.
So there'll be 6 days left.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be that last week blitz.
We'll kind of have a little more information on who's going to win the bet.
Yeah, we will.
And then the last 6 days is where all the action happens. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see y'all there. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, push that algo, etc. Hug your friends. Call your mom or your dad, and if you can still do that, please do, because it's very important for them. Talked to mom this morning.
Yeah.
Just as she was coming down the road, and she was like, "I only talk to you when we're both late." I was like, "Yeah, it's true." We'll see y'all next time. Take care.